The People's Machine coming at you with another episode of the Gaming Roundtable. Pull up a chair you're able for table talk here on August 2nd. And with me, of course, on this particular episode is the man who created the Unpaid Gamers. He is the founder, and he is with us today, Post-Human Guy. How are you doing? And welcome to the Gaming Roundtable.
Hey, what's up?
All right. So, I just got back here recently from vacation a few days ago. Came in on Sunday and came in about 5:30 in the morning. Drove from 8 p.m. to all the way to all night to get back home, and we're back here now. Yeah, I know. It's a long trip. Luckily, I had my Switch, but I was able to go from Act 1 of Diablo 2 to Act 2 in that 10-hour trip. So I got a little bit of work done on the Switch.
Diablo 2?
Yeah, Diablo 2, yes. Which I love that game. Yeah, I love the Diablo series, and Diablo is what made me really enjoy my love for action RPGs, and I own the bulk of the ones that are on PS4, anything from Vikings, Battle for Midgard, to the Avengers Van Helsing, Victor Vran, Titanfall, you name it. Not Titanfall, but Titan Quest. But I have most of those style of action RPGs. I love that genre. That's something I always, when I see games like that, I generally jump on them. So yeah, love that. But we got back and everything was good, and now July has passed and we're into August. And man, John, I mean, we're just a couple months shy of fucking October, getting into Halloween, right? So
I know, it's already time.
Now, are you and your wife and family still doing, like, watching a horror movie during the month of October, like every night? Is that something you still do?
Yeah, kind of. You know, we've expanded.
Yeah.
Now, more. And, like, you know, we used to even set up, like, just start decorating for Halloween in September. However, mostly starting kind of last year, we've just decided to kind of gothic up the house, like, for year-round.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's, like, a difference between, like, Halloween decorations and then, like, gothic decorations.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, like, we've started kind of doing that, which in turn just kind of affects everything. So, like, I don't know. It's just kind of always Halloween around here.
Yeah,
so,
nothing wrong with that.
I don't know. We don't. We definitely watch more horror movies during October.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just usually if we watch something, it's usually horror anyway. So
yeah. Well, that's cool. No, I mean, because we decorate for Halloween when it gets into October. We actually put up our Christmas tree, but we decorated Halloween, so it's a Halloween tree. We put, like, the monster eyes in it, and we put, like, purple lights and bats and spiders and webs all over. We actually do literally, like, a Halloween tree. We themed the house in Halloween. I've got some fake, like, boards that I bought from Walmart, and you put them up, and it makes your place look abandoned, and it's just... We really love that Halloween. We have a blow-up that we got last year of, like, the dog from...
blow-up doll?
Yes, no, but it's a blow-up house with the dog from what is it? The Nightmare Before Christmas, and we put that out there. And so we love the Halloween. She loves Halloween, and of course, like, tradition around with me. Although last year I couldn't watch it on Halloween night. I was very upset about it. I had to wait like a week or so later when I had some time, because there's things that come up in October. And I have, for the longest time, it seemed like Halloween night, I watched the 1978 John Carpenter Halloween, the original, which is my favorite horror movie, like, ever, all time. So I loved that. And then I added to that, the year before, I added not just watching Halloween, but its direct sequel, the 2018 Halloween, which was fantastic. And I haven't seen Halloween Kills yet. I haven't sat down and watched that one yet because I've been kind of on the fence about it anyway because I felt like the 2018 was a great ending point or a bullet point to end on, and it was, other than a couple things here or there, the movie was perfect in my eyes. So kind of going back and visiting.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
So I don't want to. I'm not a spoiler person, so I won't say anything for that. But I have some complaints about the second one.
Yeah.
Now, however, I really liked the first one a lot. It was awesome. I have issues with the second one, but I want to wait till the third one comes out and watch it as a whole story to see how I feel about it then.
I think
sometimes that, if you view a movie as a sequel alone, it doesn't work right. But if you frame it in the because it's meant to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But if you watch it, I don't know. I have issues with it.
I think for me, what I know of the film is I know that there's a pretty absurd body count. I know Michael's generally just angry as fuck, so he kills a lot of people in this. I know that. I didn't see it, but people said, yeah, this mob of people attack him, and I'm like, and they didn't win? Because it's not really established in the film that he has that supernatural strength. But anyway, it's and I thought, and you know me,
I've always a little more in that kind of supernatural realm, I guess.
And I guess for me, it's I've always Halloween. The original didn't have a really high kill count, but it didn't need to be. It was about the atmosphere, and 2018 had a lot of atmosphere. Even though yes, there was some kills here and there, but it was sporadic and spread out. And personally, when I heard about Halloween Kills having that much, I had a lot of body count, I was like, well, that's unnecessary. That they should not, because that just to me throws the tone and atmosphere off of that film series. But I think the original thought was, if the 2018 one, the original Blumhouse was like, well, if it's successful, we'll do another one. I'm like, who gives a shit if it's successful? If it's successful, the way it ended to me was perfect. So I don't know why, because I just always worry about, okay, well now the third one comes out. Well, let's say the third one comes out and they're like, well, it's successful. Let's keep fucking doing them. I'm like, you got to stop at some point.
Well, to defend that, and I don't know, but I'm pretty sure when the first one came out, I think they talked about a sequel or a trilogy story structure, right? Mm-hmm. But it's always you take a gamble on the new guy, right? The new director. So it's if it sucks, then of course they're not going to make the other two. It's just it's always that game. So I know what you mean. There's a difference in that, and then doing cashing in, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's more about it just done well enough for them to, justify letting him do his other two.
Yeah.
Is what I think, but I mean I don't know. I'm not a part of it. But
yeah, true.
I don't know. I think it's cool. That first one, the first kind of reboot, I guess. I think it's really neat that they done it in a way to discount everything else but the first one. That's a direct sequel to that.
Yeah.
So I think that was a cool idea. Something different, because there's been all kinds of Halloweens, and
true,
people kind of tear apart them all for different reasons or like them all. And me, I don't mind them. I like them all for different reasons. And you can keep changing it, keep making it. It doesn't get rid of the original, so whatever. I like them all for different reasons, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a cool kind of take on that. I have some issues, like I say, with the sequel to it, but it's not such a big deal, I guess. And some of those things, like the kill count and stuff, I don't know. You got to figure in the first one he was locked up for part of it, right? And then he gets out, and then of course his direct path is to Lori. So that's really where his focus is. And then he gets messed up at the end.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, maybe he's just pissed again. you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and is going on his rant. So we'll see. Like I said, I want to see. I won't say anything else just until you see it, but I want to see where it fits in line with the other ones. And some of those choices might just make sense in the broader scheme of things. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. They're cool. I really just like those kind of movies. The biggest reason I don't have an issue is, like, of course the original one is awesome and it will always be just what started it all, and like that atmosphere and perfectly done. But like at the same time though, if you didn't make new ones, like the character doesn't live on in a sense, you know?
No.
You know, there's always, like, of course it's that cult classic people can discover, but it's cool to see him keep coming back now and new versions and new takes on it. You know.
Well, and also...
And that's the way I feel about any of that stuff.
Yeah. I think too, you know, because I like horror movies, but I am also very picky about my horror movies. There's certain things I'm like, I just can't wrap my head around sometimes. But I think for me, like, different things. Like, for example, like I really like The Conjuring. I think The Conjuring was great, and I love the tone and atmosphere of that. And different horror movies have different tone and different atmosphere. And so, I tell you what, me and Desert do a lot. We go on the Netflix and just go to the horror, see all, right? Or we'll do Hulu or whatever streaming service. And we'll just look at something, watch a trailer. Hey, that looks cool. Let's watch it. Like we watched The Deep House recently, and that was kind of neat because it was like I've seen movies that were horror underwater, and I've seen haunted house films, but never a haunted house underwater. I mean, it's like, but it was actually a very neat little movie, to be honest with you. And I thought it had legitimate dread and atmosphere because, you know, it wasn't so jump scare heavy either, because I know a lot of people rely on that, and you know, so, but it was good, you know. So
I used to be a lot pickier with horror movies, but nowadays I'm really like you in games. Like, I'll watch freaking anything, and like I'll probably find something I like about it because I like the story. Like, I like being told a story. So, you know, even if it sucks, it's like, well, that happened.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've not really been out of shape. And I tell you, if you don't already do it, and you want to really just go through an eclectic collection of horror movies, that Shudder streaming service is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen that.
$5 a month or something like that.
Yeah, really I've seen that. Yeah, it's got nothing but horror in there. I think at one point it was free, like a number of years ago. And then it's not free now, but like it's one of those things that, you know, Halloween in October, like I said, is that time where I feel like horror movies and stuff is more poignant to me and it's more in the forefront. Because Desiree, she got to watch Halloween with me when we first got together, and she had never seen it. And she was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And she still has never seen like the original Nightmare on Elm Street and things like that, because it's a different time period, right? She's younger than me, so it's like this year I'm like, we got to watch some of this stuff because it's the stuff I grew up with, right? So to see, but it's fun to watch a movie.
Classics for a reason.
Yeah, and there's fun to watch a movie that like that with someone who's never ever seen anything like that. So it's like just her reactions, you know, makes me like, oh shit, you're right. You know, it's like watching it again for the first time. So it's really cool. Also, everybody knows last year I did the October Spooktacular month of video games where I played horror games. I know in the last broadcast I'll state it again. I will be doing that again this year. Yeah, I'm going to be playing some new horror games that's come out, like Tormented Souls, and there's a new one that's out that is like this girl, and she can like look at her phone and see ghosts. It's not Fatal Frame, but it's like her phone, and she walks through a school, and I can't think of the name of it, but it's on the store, and it just looks frightening. I'm like, I got to get that. So I'm going to be starting to slowly build up my horror library with some new stuff, and of course I will be playing, you know, some of the games I played last year, obviously. Stuff like Afflicted, which that game literally just scared the bejesus out of me, or the Slenderman, the Arrival, and those type of games. Or and I absolutely love playing. What's the game? God, I can't think of it now. I'm brain farting.
Outlast.
Yeah, Outlast, and Outlast is just fantastic. But I'm already looking at some of those indie horror titles and things like that, and
I challenged you too.
Yeah.
With an idea we talked about after the fact, but it was, I have a little bit more of a home theater setup over here,
Yes.
surround sound and giant screen and shit like that. So there's like on Xbox, I have that Visage.
Yeah.
I think is how you say it.
Yeah, Visage. Yeah, that's a crazy game. That's on PS4.
Cool. I think it'd be cool to get you over here and sit down and do a playthrough of it.
Yeah.
With the camera in it.
I'd absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to do that. That'd be great.
Get as immersive as you can get.
Yeah, no, I'm down for doing that. And I just to our subscribers and followers out there on the PSN network, Xbox network, or YouTube or Twitch, that was an idea that my fiance Desiree came up with, and I felt like it was a brilliant idea, and I give her all the credit in the world for thinking of doing that, because I wanted to do something for it. She came up with it, so she deserves all the credit for that. And she sat in here on a few of those to watch and to help out when I needed it, on her phone. So it's just, I enjoyed doing that so much for everybody, and you joined in, chimed in, and got on the broadcast and commented too and helped me out. So it's great to be able to play some of those games. And I tell you, the ones that were the most surprising was none of the AAA stuff, right? Like a Resident Evil 7, things like that. I love those games, but it was a lot of those indie horror that just was like, holy shit, like this is actually really cool. And it was a chance to kind of showcase those games too. And I enjoyed the Spooktacular month on the Gaming Roundtable, and I will be doing that again wholeheartedly with the video. I'll get the camera in here, and then maybe I can get over to your place and do a couple, whatever. I'd love to do that. So that's something to really look forward to, because October for me
was really good.
Yeah, and October for me is great, and I'm already buying. It's already out at Kroger's. I got a whole thing of candy corn. Like, this is great. I'm just getting myself in the mood and ready for when that comes up in October. So it's going to be really good. I think this time I'm going to be, like I said, there's a lot of horror games that have been released recently, and there's going to be more in the pipeline. So I'll keep an eye out on the store, and I'll be buying some titles here or there. Yeah.
Do you have the Tormented Souls, by the way?
I already purchased that one. I haven't played it.
Okay.
I'm actually not.
It's on the summer sale.
Yeah, I'm not going to play it because I'm going to wait until October. And I'm just going to
There's
hold
a couple
off.
other ones on there too, like in that summer sale, like that look real good and right, perfect for that. Like there was one, it's like Nun Horror or something like that, or Nun.
Like the Nun chases you around. It looks like old school PS1 game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible looking.
Yeah. But it might be fun.
Like
there's another one where you get chased by like some bunny murderer in a haunted house, and
yeah, I've seen that one too.
it's like a PS1 looking title, like a throwback. But I've seen them too, and of course, I think I will be, I'll probably do a night of playing either, and I'll be re-downloading some stuff here and there. So it's going to be, I think I got a lot to choose from as far as new indie titles, and again, I will be going back through and playing some of the ones I did last year that I think would be fun to jump in and play for our people, for our peeps that watch and subscribe and follow us here on Unpaid Gamers Network.
And I think I'm going to kind of supplement that and do some leisure plays of some games, like to complement that, like because I mentioned before, like I have Medium that I haven't played through. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
To check out. I just ended up getting The Quarry.
Yes.
On sale, which I think you guys played through. But,
yeah, Desiree's played through. She's on the very last bit of the game.
Yeah, and I've been I've been doing some leisure play, holding up the fort when you young. So I was doing some leisure play of Swan Song, the Vampire Masquerade. So I've kind of started going down that road anyway. But like I have,
Now, Swan Song, is that the one where you play a detective?
Well, not maybe kind of. It's probably the same one you're thinking of, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like a third-person kind of thing, and there's three main characters that you play. And it's like mostly dialogue, and then.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you talking about like the? It's not like the other ones, like the Coteries in New York and Shadows in New York, because I got those too. Yeah, but I don't have that new one. That's the new one, the latest. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's by the people who did. What is it? Is it the Council or something? Or what's the name of that game?
It's the Council.
Big Bad Wolf did it.
Oh, that's the Council. Yeah.
Yeah, it's by them. So I think like some of that gameplay, I think similar. I haven't even played the Council, so I don't know. But it's pretty neat though. I've streamed like maybe 2 hours of it or so, and I'll probably continue streaming it. I might just do like till I do a whole playthrough of it.
Okay.
But it's pretty neat. You kind of go through a prologue, and it jumps around between the three characters, and then like you get to like chapter 1, and then you pick who you want to play.
Gotcha.
But it's very much like you walk around and you're looking for clues and your abilities, and then like there's no like combat or anything. So like a substitute of that is you kind of battle in conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
It's about the story. And like that kind of thing. So it's different for sure. And I'm sure a lot of people find it boring, but it's interesting enough.
Yeah.
And the Vampire the Masquerade's got a cool universe in it.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. So that's kind of and I guess we'll see what's up. I haven't extended so I'll probably try to kind of supplement that stuff.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's really good. I know you've been doing. Why don't you tell people about the other thing you've been doing the car thoughts and stuff like that?
Yeah. So
and that's pretty neat.
Yeah. So leisure play, of course, I just play. There's no talking. There's no, I don't even do commentary over it. I just play the game because I feel there's a lot of commentary stuff already on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I really like the Let's Play because like sometimes you just want to see the game and you don't, So I like having that. And I've done kind of the podcast format, I guess, a little bit before a handful of times.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm doing these with you. But like I don't ever talk. I don't ever like really have a camera going or even talk so much outside of this. So
yes.
So and I've told this on the Car Thoughts videos, but and I've said it here before, but I'm an IT guy, so I work for myself. A lot of times I work from home, but a lot of times I'm on the road and I go around to clients' offices and mostly around town. But sometimes it's also like a couple-hour drive and stuff. Like today, I was just out, and I actually didn't do one today, but like 3 hours in the car driving.
Yeah.
So I'm on the road so much, so I started just doing these car thought videos, and it's really just kind of like what you do with the round table.
Gotcha.
Much more pocket size. They're about 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And, just a topic, whatever I feel like kind of babbling about, and just very low tech. Like there's no editing or anything. Whatever surprises the road may bring as well. Sometimes it's lots of rain. Sometimes it's somebody pulling out in front of me, whatever.
No.
I'm not editing anything out, and I'm not even. I was gonna get one of those like dash holder things, for my phone. Or,
yes.
But I don't even do that. I just record on my phone and like hold it over to the side. So.
Gotcha.
Just like little kind of pocket-sized conversations, I guess.
Oh, great. No, that sounds cool because that's very different and unique.
Yeah, and some of them may be, maybe longer. It depends on what I got to talk about or what kind of drive I got. But it's just kind of whatever I feel like doing at the time. And again, it's so I'm in the car so much sometimes, and most of the time I'm listening to music or listening to Coast to Coast or something like that.
Yeah.
Talk radio, whatever. But just kind of putting that time to use. And
yeah, that's good. It's a really unique thing for our subscribers and our followers to see, because it gives you. We try to be, since we're not paid for any of this, as hence the network, Unpaid Gamers, but like we try to bring you different kind of content. A lot of YouTube, a lot of YouTube. You're right. Is a lot of the same. It's either people trolling, or it's this person, talking about the news, or this person or that, doing reviews, and it's like you get a lot of the same, and it's not all created equally, obviously, but sometimes it's good to see some more unique content. I feel like that Unpaid Gamers is trying to do that, bring people in with some different things, from the table talks that we have here talking about games, or even like tonight we touch base on some horror movies, to your car talks and let's plays, to all that, and encompassing different things like that. And I think that gives our channel a unique flavor, because you're getting pretty much the straight shit from us, because we don't get paid for any of this shit. So, but we just enjoy doing it, and that's why we do what we do. Yeah.
And and really, like, it's kind of based on what the Unpaid Gamers started out to begin with.
Yeah.
To be, years ago, like 15 years ago, however long it's been. It's probably about 15 years ago.
Yeah, I know, which is crazy. Yeah, you think about it. Yeah.
But started with the website, and then like we had multiple contributors to the website. And
Yeah.
we would all do reviews, and we would all like kind of have articles that we write or whatever. So it was a little bit of different flavor back then. And then like I started covering events and stuff, local events, and so you would get game reviews and events, and we had like giveaways and like contests, and like it was all, that was the idea really from the beginning, was just kind of this whole, I don't know, network, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't even.
Lack of a better word.
You think about it, it has been a long, long, long time. And like I said, I was real happy when I started doing videos, and then, reconnecting with you, and you were like, hey, you want to be part of the Unpaid Gamers Network thing? And I was like, oh, absolutely. I always liked it then. I love it now. I know there's times, what I like about what's going on now that July's over, and July is very busy for me and Desiree. We do the camping thing the first week of July, then 2 weeks later we go to New York. There's things kind of going on in between that, before that, so it takes up a lot of my time. Now that we're into August, pretty much there ain't shit going on until October, and that's only and that's not going to interrupt the stuff that I'm doing for Gaming Roundtable. I know the last stream we did was July 13th, so it's been a little bit, between now and then, and I always keep.
I've been pumping out the video, like I said, kind of holding up.
You've been keeping open before, exactly.
Been,
so
doing the car thoughts and doing a couple leisure plays and stuff. But like I was saying, not to interrupt you there, but like that was the idea really from the beginning with the Unpaid Gamers on the website version, and then like we've kind of slowly migrated to this whole just YouTube only kind of version of it, or Twitch or whatever. It really kind of centers around YouTube these days.
Pretty much.
And like, we're not monetizing the channel or any of that. So. But, you like kept up the Gaming Roundtable part of it. Like you were the YouTube presence for quite a while.
Pretty much. I mean, I feel
like I
like
would start to do the leisure plays in there, and then like now it's kind of like building up around YouTube, like what the idea of the website was.
Yeah. Yeah, and
so it's like kind of getting back to how it, just the new version of it, I guess.
No, and it's good, and playing evolved, but evolved into what it is now. Although I know with me, how I feel about reviewing games is the fact that, and I've had emails, and I've had some people ask me, about the reviews, and I've stated it dozens of times over the past 3-4 years doing the gaming roundtable that reviews are subjective, and I don't want to do reviews simply for the fact that it's kind of like, if it's a game series I like let's say a Dynasty Warriors, of course for me it's going to be a 9 out of 9 or something, 9 out of 10 or something, or whatever. I can be subjective and go 8s and 7s with different games too in that genre, but because I love it so much,
it'd be lower for me.
Yeah, it'd be lower for you because you don't love it. So again, it's the subjectiveness of reviews, and we all know, let's just face facts, that review sites guide you in and stuff like, hey, Ubisoft gave us X dollars to advertise, and now we got all this money, so they didn't ask us to give them a good review for their latest game, but we probably will. It's like an unspoken thing, and that's been a thing that people are well aware of. So, so it's like I said.
But, I'm not above doing reviews. If you remember though, because we used to do reviews on the website.
Yeah, I did them too. Yeah.
But we would do, whoever was doing the review at the time, we would do the letter grades, I guess, for the different categories. But
yes.
We would never give a final score.
Yeah, we just graded.
Because I was always against it. It was how I felt about this part, how I felt about this part, how I felt about this part.
Yeah, it was smart. Yeah, it was very smart.
And we didn't do the numbers. It was just kind of like a letter grade, right?
Yeah.
C was average.
Yeah.
Because really, here's what I hate. I hate the number grade system. And then way more than that, I hate the point something.
Oh, that's just ridiculous. Yeah.
It's the worst. You play, you review a game and it's okay, this is a 7.3. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Is it good? Is it bad? Is it decent? That's really all I need to know.
It's either a 7 or an 8. 7.9,
Is it a 7.3 or 7.6? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, the point something. That only matters in the Olympics. When you're in tenths of seconds and you're recording. Yeah, it's I tell you what. I tell you though too, some of those review sites. There's some really good ones on YouTube that you turn me on to. But then you get into people who just, again, the biggest problem with YouTube when it gets to the gaming stuff is, of course, you have those that just. Anymore, you touch base on this. We talked about it before, where you were like, people just fucking hate everything now. Nothing's good enough. Nothing's good enough. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter if the gameplay is fantastic. I mean, I already heard people stupidly mad about something with the game Stray, where you play a fucking cat, and I'm like, okay, it's getting glowing reviews, but then there's this other side that's like, well, but this and that, and you're like,
it's a game for one.
Yeah, it's a fucking game about a cat. I mean, and what do you expect? And that's the biggest thing that I might take away from some of that stuff is there's a lot of negativity, and I think. And I've made no bones about it. You can go back and see some of my videos, folks out there. John, you've seen some of them. It's I just straight say that the gaming community is incredibly toxic, and it's you can't like anything because, I like this, and then someone wants to fucking tear it down only because you like it. It's a very fucked up community. It's worse in other circles, where I know COD Overwatch community is fucking atrocious. They just are. They're terror. And
what I would recommend.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd recommend is don't just go because I read reviews or I watch reviews sort of.
Yeah.
But my favorite reviews are really how I was done reviews back then. It's not really about. The objective wasn't to give it a score and to tell if it was good or bad. It was really just to let people know what to expect with the game, and the features of the game, and because when I hear about something or read about something, that's what I want to know, right? I can be a judge of if I'm gonna like it or not.
Yeah.
But does it have multiplayer? How long is it? Is it gonna be worth the money? What kind of gimmicks does it have? You don't have to ruin anything, but you can kind of give me the gist of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. That's my favorite part about it. So, like, my favorite one, um, my favorite YouTube in general is Happy Console Gamer.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
that's a great channel.
He's very like the positive side of stuff, and it's not like, it's just what it is. Like, he sticks to the stuff he likes. There are things he doesn't like, but he just doesn't focus on that. So,
Yeah.
It's really about his love for gaming, his perspective of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for like, when I go to, I guess, quote unquote reviews, get into that. I really like, what is it? It's the game ranks the before you buy.
Yeah, before you buy, yeah. Those are good. I watched those.
He shows the gameplay. He talks about it, but he doesn't ever say like really good or bad or gives a score.
Yeah.
Just like he just informs you about the game, and I think that's what's important.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to go down the road of an actual review and a review score and a should you buy and stuff, what I really think you should do is not just go to IGN and see what they rated.
Yeah.
I think you should find somebody that has similar interest of yours and just kind of see how they gauge that stuff, right? Because, like I know kind of what games you're going to like.
Yeah.
Right? I know what kind of games you're not going to like. So, like, if there's something I really think I'm interested in and you crap all over it, it's like, okay, I didn't think you'd like it anyway. So I'm going to give it a shot because it might be for me.
Yeah.
And, like, I think it's important when you're listening to other people, do they just kind of have the general same interest of you or not? Or, do you not like the same stuff? Because, I don't know, like, that's just, it's kind of like your peer group, right? You should, and it's really hard in the online world, but with YouTube, it's kind of not. It's kind of easy. Like,
True.
I like some of those YouTubers that I mentioned, so I've become more accustomed to their style because, Johnny Millennium and Jake Baldino, I've watched their videos a billion times.
Yeah.
So I kind of know how they like to react to things. So, like, it just helps me get a clear perspective on the game I'm checking out. I don't know. So many people just go to IGN and, that got a 6.0, I'm skipping that.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, who did the review, first off?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, that's true because so much of that review system, I mean, some of those sites like that, it is tainted. And you do have people who are like I said, you don't know and how many games they're asked to review. I feel like anymore, especially with the games out there, everything's fucking open world in 100 hours, it seems like, they just don't have, there's no way they could base a game from start to finish if they were told to, hey, you've got 20 games to review this month. Like, did you really fucking have time to play them all the way through? Or your review, because if you read sometimes the reviews off IGN, I hate to keep picking at them, but them and other people, it's like, you can tell, they didn't fucking play this game. Like, they barely played it. They played maybe an hour and based their entire review off that. And
that's exactly true. And it's not even necessarily their fault. It's just a problem of the whole machine, right?
Yeah.
Like, because, we used to get free games with Unpaid Gamers all the time.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really deadlines. I just felt pressured to put out a review pretty quickly because I didn't, it's the launch of the game coming out, right? They give you a free game. It's like, I want to do them right and, like,
help them out,
get something up there within that release window. Because nobody's really searching out. I mean, people do, but, not as much, like 3 weeks later. But, some games, especially now, they're so big. Like, it takes a long time to really get a full perspective.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
And, to that defense, like, I think IGN, sometimes I feel like they do the right thing. Because you'll see, like, review pending. Like, we're working on it. Or they'll review one part. And, like,
sometimes they do that,
rather them do that than,
yeah,
put out a rush through review. But, it's a tricky system.
It really is. Because reviews, I mean, like I stated earlier, it is subjective, and one man's trash is another man's, like, a work of art, and so I've always had that knack of being able to look and see good things about a game, which allows me to look past things. And even though there are games out there that they're fucking atrocious, I'm still able to, like, sometimes be able to find, you know, a little bit of a diamond in the rough, per se, you know. And I'm always singing the praise. Yeah, I'm always, like, singing the praise of that. And no, you know, and especially nowadays where the AAA landscape kind of blows, and they're all about the monetization and all about certain, you know, for money, where the indie scene, the indie people, the small companies, the AA companies are really more like old school, and they're like, no, we're just trying to make a good game. And so there's a fine line there. And I think with reviews, that's where you run, you know, there's, like you said, there's so many options on YouTube that it's almost silly for, oh, I'm mad that the game, I don't like it. Well, you had access to dozens and dozens of opportunities and videos or whatever to make a better informed purchase. So
there's almost no excuse now.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
To make a bad purchase.
Yeah.
However, you know, and it was really my last car thoughts video that I talked about this, but we're in this whole, another big problem with this machine is the pre-order system.
Yeah.
Right, and that really hurts, and I don't know, it really fucks up a lot.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because I mentioned there, like, you remember really why this whole thing started, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Used to be, you would, you know, there was no digital storefront. You had to go to the store to get your game.
Mm-hmm.
So the release day would come up. Sometimes you ran out of luck.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it wasn't just like, oh, Walmart's out of it, let me go here to Target. Like, you know, there were some times back then, like, everywhere would be out of it. And
yeah, couldn't get it.
Release dates were a lot muddier. Like, sometimes you didn't even know when a game was coming out.
Yeah, they would give a release date, and the date would change, but they never really bothered to tell anybody the date changed. And it's happened to me a couple of times, and believe it or not, back in the 360 days, back in the GameCube, Xbox days, walking to GameStop and be like, when did that fucking come out? Like, I was looking at that like 2 months, like, when did that, oh, that came out like a couple days ago, like, seriously? You know, like you just all of a sudden see some game that you were wanting, and oh, it's been out for a week. Like, what?
Yeah. It was very Wild West.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, and then, you know, things kind of started getting a little more organized and having release dates, and then you start kind of having that problem where, well, you know, like, there was another problem too. You remember, like, there were times where, like, they didn't know if it came out.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be like there was a release date, and it'd show up, and they're like, yeah, I don't know. We don't know. It came out.
Hey, man, we didn't. And then plus two, with GameStop, what made it bad for them was, and here's a perfect example. This is more recent. So you own the game, and I know you love it. I own the game, and I love it. What was it? 2018 Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And that game was phenomenal. Like, it's phenomenal, like, for a superhero game, and with all the different suits, and, you know, we could talk, we could do a whole video on Spider-Man. But I remember at the time it was coming out, and I was like, I'm going to get it digitally, right? I'll wait for it to go. I wanted it to go on sale, and it did. I eventually got I got the Game of the Year edition for $20. Got everything, right? And that was only like 3 months after it launched, which is weird. Like, the Game of the Year thing came out so fast. It might have been a little bit longer, but I remember getting that. But here's the interesting thing: the pre-order problem. At the time, I love the Dark Souls games. I like those style of genre of games. I ordered Immortal Unchained because I found out that some of the people that used to work at Silicon Knights worked on my favorite game of all time, To Human, worked on this game, right? And there's some elements of that in this game, even though they play very differently. It's just, you can see it when you play it, right? I can recognize some of that. And I pre-ordered it, right, at our GameStop, our local GameStop. Desiree went over to get it. I was working. She went, because, like, our GameStop, they don't do midnight releases. They're not allowed to be, the city won't allow them to be open that late. Don't ask. But they did a 9 o'clock because they close at like 9, so they do a 9 o'clock, and they get permission, even though it's not the next day because the midnight. They somehow are able to circumvent all that, whatever. I pre-ordered that game, and the only copy that came in was my copy. They had no other copies to sell. It was just the one and only one that I pre-ordered. And I thought, if anybody else knew about that game, and yes, it was stupid to launch when Spider-Man launched, but if anybody else knew about that game and wanted it, and went up there, because they also allow just walk-ins that night, because they're open, make some business, you would be shit out of luck. Because not only did they not have it, Walmart didn't have it, nobody had it. Like, because Walmart basically said, well, we had all the Spider-Man, and we did a pre-order thing, and that's it. So that's the same thing that happened when Dynasty Warriors 9 came out. I pre-ordered it at our GameStop, and and a bunch of other games were released that day. Midnight launch, go up. Hey, or 9 o'clock launch. Hey, can I get my Dynasty Warriors? You're the only one that pre-ordered. It's the one copy we have. And that's one of the things I thought, that's kind of shitty. If somebody wants to get this game, they can't. Yeah, right? Yeah. I'm the only one. And like Mason, the manager, said that. He's
a different.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. But Mason, the manager, said, when I got the Immortal Unchained, he goes, yeah, I mean, I can't even tell you when we'll get this actually in, like, replenishment. So he did. Yeah. He got 5 more copies in 2 weeks after launch. So you were still shit out of luck, because that's another one of the pre-order problems. Because if it's a lower tier game and not a big game launch, sometimes the GameStop won't even fucking bother to order it or get it in at all. Even if it's a new game, but because they just won't.
And so definitely an odd pre-order issue.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of the same thing, but it's kind of different at the same time. Even more different, you know. But like, you know, back in the day, that was the issue of, you know, sometimes it would just sell out. And, you know, nobody would have it in the area, and you'd have to wait who knows how long until it came in. So, you know, then the pre-order started.
Yes.
It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Put $5 on it, or pay the whole thing, or pay half, or whatever.
Yeah.
Use it like a layaway, whatever you want to do. But then the problems started happening, right? So then we get into pre-order bonuses.
Yes.
Right? So, you know, it started with, like, you can pre-order it, but, like, if you pre-order at GameStop, you get, like, an extra skin.
Yeah, or something, a weapon, whatever, yeah.
And then it grew of, okay, you can pre-order at GameStop and get this extra skin, or you can pre-order at, like, Best Buy and get the Steelbook.
Yeah, and get something completely
and then,
different.
Like, it gets even more complicated, right? Because then it would be like, okay, you can get these skins if you pre-order at GameStop. You can get the Steelbook if you pre-order at Best Buy. You get this level pack if you get it digitally.
Yeah.
You get, like, and, like, it's hard to get, like, even a complete game, right?
Yeah. What do I do? Pre-order it 3 times? Yeah.
Then, believe it or not, it gets even worse, because then the problem starts. You're pre-ordering like 6 to 8 months down the line, and sometimes with no release date.
Yeah.
And that's my issue. Like, what the fuck kind of thing is that? Like,
yeah.
You're pre-ordering, and if you buy it digitally, there's no $5 down. You got to buy the whole thing.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So, like, you know, for one, you know, it's bad enough you got to decipher which version of the game you want. The special edition, the collector's edition, the legacy edition, or the mega fuck 'em all edition.
Yeah.
So you got to sort that out, and then you got to decide what piece of this unknown game that you want based on where you want to pre-order from.
Yeah.
What bonus you get. And then on top of all that, you're like pre-ordering a game that doesn't come out until 2023. So, like, they're getting your money before the product's done and out, right?
Yeah.
And that, to me, is a problem.
That's a huge problem.
That's what wrecked Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Right? Is that, because it generates bad feelings, right? Like, you know, when it circles back around, my reason for getting into all this again, even though I talk about it on the thing, is, you know, you can go on YouTube and you can watch Let's Plays and you can get people's opinions and stuff. But if you bought this game already a year ago, you know, it's hard to determine really how you feel about it. Like, some things are safe, right? Like,
yeah,
the new Mortal Kombat's announced or whatever. I'm sure it's going to be good.
Yeah,
no. The new Call of Duty, you kind of know what you're getting into unless you're nitpicky about it. Then you may want to wait and see how short it is. Does it have a campaign? Is it, microtransaction all the hell? Is it whatever?
Well, it's Activision, so yeah. It's a gimmick.
But for, like some of that stuff, it's a fairly safe bet. But sometimes, like, there's fucking games on there. Like Marvel Suns is on there, right?
Midnight Suns, yeah.
Yeah, whatever that shit is. And, like, is there a date for that? When is that one?
Oh, I don't even know there's a date.
Let me see. I'm looking right now. And that's just a random example that I just used. Okay, 10/7/2022. So it actually has a date. But, like, I don't know fuck all about that game. Like, that's different to me than, like, Gotham Knights, right?
Yeah.
Which there's a track record there with Rocksteady. Like, that's going to be good, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, Marvel Midnight Suns is made by the people who made XCOM, which are really good tactical strategy games. That's what this is. So turn-based tactical strategy.
And I get that, but it is still in the Marvel universe, so it's a little different, right?
Yeah,
like, Gotham Knights is really the same as Batman, just with different characters. Because you're still in that same universe. You're still, they'll do it justice. Like, I don't know. And again, it's just one example. But, there's plenty of those that you go in there and you look, and it's like December 2023 or December 2022. Like, that's the placeholder of it may come out this year.
Or it might not.
But let's go ahead and, just go ahead and pay for it now, though, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Because what happens if I pay for it and if something happens between now and then and it doesn't come out? Right?
Yeah. How many times did Cyberpunk get delayed? How many times?
Yeah.
And I pick on that. But, that happens a lot of the time.
Yeah, I know.
Even Lego Star Wars, that Skywalker, that got delayed like a whole 6 months or something like that.
Yeah. And a lot of it could be still from COVID-19 from last year when they were working on shit and they had to stop or they worked from home. They couldn't do as much. But at some point, all this stuff is back open again. So companies are back working and have been for some time. So, but like, I'm with you on the whole pre-order thing because it's like, I feel like, yes, like I know PSN does the pre-ordering thing. And like, I get to play it. Sometimes it'll let you play early or it'll immediately start downloading like at 11:59 or whatever the fuck, right? And I've pre-ordered stuff on there before, and it'll just give me a countdown to when it's like, because it pre-installs, and so and now I'm just like, it's midnight, I can play it. Yeah, I do too. Yeah. But there is an issue with, like you said, when you have, well, if I get this version from this particular company, then I get this. Oh, but if I get it from this other place, but if I get it from this, it's like you said, it's like that stuff may eventually float onto the store to buy that deal because it'll be DLC or whatever. But sometimes, a lot of times, it just doesn't. So if you're wanting, you kind of have to make that decision. Do I do the games? Does the pre-order bonus here? Is it better than here? Is it better than? And I don't. It's really strange because I'm like you with the pre-orders. I think there's a systemic problem with it and the way it's handled. I don't like, that game looks cool and it just is coming soon. It only have a year. It only have a year. Well, what the hell is soon? Yeah. It
kind of wraps up.
Well, go ahead and give us our money.
Yeah. The year. Yeah. It kind of wraps up cleans up a little bit towards the end of the year because they're getting that holiday season out of the way. Yeah. Like when, when like the PlayStation, like the Video Game Awards or whatever, right? Yeah. Or like some of these big event, and they announce a bunch of stuff. Like it all goes up pre-order like that same day.
Yeah.
And it's like they did say like next year it was coming. Like
yeah.
I don't want to buy it now.
Yeah. Because my whole point is, I have done this too, on the digital store front. Okay, well, it comes out tomorrow, or I can get it at midnight on the store, right? And it lets me pre-order it. Well, fuck, I don't mind doing it a few hours because then it'll install and I can play it. But, like you said, it's like, I don't really want to pre-order a game that I don't even know when the fuck it's coming out. It could be a year, it could be 2 years. Why? It's kind of like GTA saying, Rockstar saying GTA 6 coming out March 2024 now. I know there's a placeholder date for them, but I'm surprised it ain't on the fucking storefront. You know, just, 2 years.
Will be like
or
a year.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, there's so much to freaking sort out now. It drives me nuts. Like, you can't even get Goat Simulator now without looking at, do you get Goat Simulator 3 or Goat Simulator 3 Premium Edition?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And half the time, and that's been an issue in a lot of games, because the loot box thing is finally almost a dead issue and nobody's doing it anymore because there's too much consternation over the gambling factor. But now everything's got to have a battle pass, like fucking everything. Let's give everything a battle pass. Everything a battle pass.
I like the battle pass idea in general.
I do, but it's
it's their way of kind of putting those in there without calling
well
that. Yeah.
One of the egregious examples of a battle pass system is Marvel's Avengers, where every individual character has a battle pass, not just one as a whole. So like, well, I got to rank up Captain America, and to get him to max rank is going to take me like 3 weeks. So I'm playing it every day. But that's only one character. I need to have 3 others part of the team. Well, I guess I'll take Iron Man and do another 3 weeks to rank up his battle pass. You're like, fuck me, right? And then...
And were they like $20 a piece or something?
Yeah. And then you get into... And even though I end up playing it and liking it, I still found it's microtransactions egregious. Babylon's Fall. It don't just have a battle pass. It has a battle pass and a premium battle pass. And I got 2 different kinds of battle pass. So then some other game coming out with a premium like battle pass. I'm like, oh, so you have like a standard battle pass to get you this shit, but the really cool shit's in the premium. So you got to buy it, but you also got to buy the other one too. So hey, one costs $10 more, and it's like, you guys suck. And then you lock shit still behind season passes. It's always amazing to me that game companies, this is something I had a thought of the other day. Like, I love Soul Calibur. And it's interesting that Soul Calibur 6 comes out and Bandai Namco reports like a big loss on the game. They stated that they weren't sure why the game failed, because it was the same kind of fighting game that people love and blah, 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 and the same old spiel. They just didn't understand. I'm like, well, let's see here. You took 2 or 3 characters that had been in the game series in 5, they were in 4, they were in 3, they were in 2, and you decided that, fuck it, or at least one of them wasn't 2, but like, you're going to make people pay $5 a piece for the character. You locked it. You can't earn it. You have to buy them. And then, even though they've been in the game, you use the same engine, it's the same models, you pay it, it instantly just says purchased, and then they're just on the roster. They're grayed out on the roster to pick a character, and then you're thinking, but then you had not 1, but 3 season passes to buy for the game, right? And then, and then you have to have, like, before you would go through the game and rank up your player rank, and you would unlock like items in the creative player shop, like these boots or this, that, when you went to the arcade mode, you would unlock stuff that way. Well, you can't unlock shit in that game. You have to buy the customization parts. And they give you some, but all the stuff that's been in the last 2 games were locked. So I did some math. I was like, okay, so it was $60 for the game, but if you wanted to get just the other characters, that's 5, 10, 15, 20. So now you're up to $80 for all the characters, right? Even we locked Tira behind the wall. We locked Hild behind the wall. We locked literally like 4 of the mainstream characters from the game, and then they added 2B from Nier Automata as like because he had guest characters, and so that was $5 a piece. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So you're looking at 60. That's $85. Your first season pass was $20. So now you're at $105. The second season pass was $20. The third season pass was $20. And some of the stuff in the season pass was not in the customization shit either. So you still had to buy the customization sets, which, by the way, was like 5 of those. So in order to actually get the game in its entirety, it was somewhere around like 260, 270. That's how you got the complete game. Now, Soul Calibur 5 came out for
Blizzard numbers.
Yeah, and Soul Calibur 5 came out, which allows you to unlock everything in game with no microtransactions, and it was a huge selling game for them and made all this money for them. But for some reason, they don't know why 6 failed, right? But here's the other thing. Getting back to pre-orders, you know that game had 3 different versions with 3 different pre-order bonuses depending on which version you decided to get, that did not include the season passes and did not include the characters. So even if you bought the super uber deluxe, yeah, and they don't know why shit fails. They don't have any. We don't know why the people didn't buy our game, because you gave us the most bare minimum game, and then you gave us all these options that look like options but they weren't. And again, the pre-order stuff, going back to what you're saying, it is an issue when I'm like, well, the deluxe comes with this, but then the extreme version comes with something different, and then the standard version gives you what? And it's like, I can't stand that, man. I cannot stand that.
Some of those things are just so hard to sort out. One of my other things like that I absolutely hate is that like Chaos Bane,
Yeah.
The Warhammer Chaos Bane thing.
Yes.
The way they do their stuff, because there's a season pass, but then there's also stuff that doesn't include the season pass, and then there's like 3 different editions you can buy. So like literally to figure out what comes with everything, like I gotta sit down and like map it out.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
It really shouldn't be that complicated.
Yeah, I bought Chaos Bane when it came out because I'm a Warhammer guy, so I'm a nut for that shit. And it's a Diablo style type action RPG. I'm like, Warhammer, Diablo style, well, fuck yeah. And they added like the 2 expansions, which I eventually bought when it was on sale, and I also got the other characters that they added later to that game, which was a couple. And I'm just sitting there now. I ultimately, I think, I didn't pre-order it, I just bought it. It didn't come out at full price if memory serves. I want to say it came out at 50 or 40. I think it was 40, but I still ended up paying, even with the stuff, the DLC and stuff that became on sale with the different expansions and shit. I still ended up paying like well over full price for that game. Ultimately.
And sometimes, that just happens. Like as the game comes out and they add to it and stuff. And then like if you try to get into it later on after that stuff, it's like a pain to sort out, because I mean it just happens. Like ESO is so complicated in that fact now. Like just to figure out what you're missing is a pain.
Yeah. There's a lot in that. Yeah.
Yeah, just because there's so much. But like, and there's and I just say that the Chaos Bane as a rough example, because that was just one I looked at recently, and I'm like, because it's in the store on sale now.
Yeah, there's lots of different
like 2
versions.
Of the versions are on sale, but not one of them. But then like there's also a pass that's on sale for it, but it doesn't give you everything.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
But like there's good and bad ways of doing it. I mean, of course, the problem still exists for whatever reason. When you buy an add-on for a game and it's like 300 kilobytes. Like, it doesn't include anything. It's just to unlock it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's bullshit. Unless it comes in an update. Because sometimes that will happen.
Yeah, they'll just add it in.
Update the game, and then, but sometimes, like at launch, it's got that shit. And it's like, okay, you kidding me?
Yeah. No, and I agree.
Because I don't hate DLC in general. I like the support of games. I like that we can do that now. It's so cool to breathe longevity into a game. So I'm all cool with that. I just don't like when it's not used as an expansion. It's used as locking parts of the game up to try to get money.
Well, in a recent video, I mean, I had stated this, and I stand by what I stated. It's not indicative of every game company, but a lot of the ones that are very egregious that's out there, it's like they did not make a video game. They made a platform to make money disguised as a video game, and it's to me where I'm like, the games that I used to like playing, I just flat out refuse to support them or buy anything from them. Fuck those game companies and or their games. And it's only because I just am like, I go back to a couple years back, and, I bought like 5 games in 1 month. Like, I just had a lot of extra money. And in all honesty, like, out of the 5, only 1 of those I just absolutely still love and play, and the other 4 is not installed because I'm like, I got burnt. Like, I was wanting, not that I didn't make an informed purchase, not that anything, it kind of pulled on my strings. Like, oh, fucking Fallout, cool, online. And I was like, meh. And then it's like, oh, hey, Thomas, you really got to get this Black Ops 4. I'm telling you, it's amazing. I'm like, don't care, it's terrible, don't like the game. And I'm like, the multiplayer, I can't get into this shit. And it's like, I just can't play it. And then you get to the transactions and other games that came out, and I'm just like, I just get to a point where I'm like, I've been buying a lot of like the indie stuff lately, or smaller company stuff, because you don't get that, and I feel like that those purchases are less of a hit if I paid $10 for a game or less. Or if it's a really crazy sale, and then you buy it, and you end up going like, this is a pretty cool little game. Like,
and look at the games that like try to ream you too, right? It's like the multi-million-dollar blockbusters, right?
Yeah.
And like they didn't get that money by doing that to begin with. Like, it's like they were big, and then they started doing it to make even more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if anybody needs it, you really need that,
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree.
Again, there's right and wrong ways of doing it. Like, I mean, like Call of Duty loves their microtransactions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they also, they do give you your annual releases or whatever. And their one Warzone component, is going free to play. And then they just kind of sell you on the season passes and stuff and skins, and like really taking up the Fortnite model is really what they've done.
Yeah, basically.
And like, that's pretty cool, I get. Like, there's a market for that, and I think it's fair enough, right? Because it doesn't really enhance the game at all. Like, it's the look, and it just keeps you going. Like, oh, what's the new skin for this week, or what this month, or whatever. Like, whatever. I don't care what people spend their money on. And like, the live service models, those get really tricky, and we've talked about that a lot. But, I still think Street Fighter was one of the best implementations of that, right? Because fighting games to me is one of the smarter uses of a platform, because like, it doesn't, like some of those iterations of Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, things drastically change, but oftentimes it's just the same, like you can rebalance it or introduce new characters, and like I think that's a good example of how you can use it as a live service in the way Street Fighter did.
Yeah.
Here's this new season with these 4 characters and these costumes, but like, and it mixes up the whole game, but yet, I don't know, it just feels a little different.
Yeah, no,
You're not so concerned about the latest, greatest iteration of graphics so much. Like, it's, with fighting games, it's all about the gameplay to begin with. So they're kind of expanding on that. And just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's terrible and it's cash in. So, I don't know. There is no right or wrong answer. Mm-hmm. It's just, I hate it when it feels like you're getting fucked.
Yeah, and it's always my biggest problem when these kind of things happen, if a game is getting shit on because of what they're doing, and the game companies, they all say the same thing. We hear you, we're sorry, we're this. Well, no, you're fucking not. Because if you were, you would never do it again. And you do it with every game that comes out. So, you know, and I'm looking at like, I look at that like, then it's just you're fucking gaslighting us, basically, to paraphrase, when you do
And
things
even
like
some
that.
of the better games, like, okay, you know, like the new WWE 2K, right?
Yeah.
Like it was good. I thought.
Oh, it's excellent. Yeah.
Like they took a couple years off. They made a solid game.
Yeah, new
But you
company.
know,
The way it wrestles, it when you play it, it's like you're watching a match.
yeah. But of course, even with that situation, they're gonna take arguably the most popular faction ever, which is the NWO, and lock it behind that NWO for Life edition.
Yeah, I seen that.
However much it was, you know, like the top tier,
Yeah.
whatever. Like that's how you get them. Is you gotta give us all your money.
Yeah, and the funny thing is though, it's like,
come
well, I'll just go in the community creations because somebody's probably made a spot on version
Yeah.
of those guys. But if you really want the real package, then you are going to have to pony up. And I feel like that's like it's kind of like as Jim Sterling once said, was it's not like they just want some of your money. They don't want all your money. They want all of the money. Play nothing else. Only devote to this. And we've talked about it ad nauseum about, you know, me and you outside of the gaming roundtable have had discussions about like, but goddamn, every fucking game's got to be open world, and every game's got to be 200 hours, and every game has got to be like every fucking game. It's got to be some. It's like they're trying to be like, we have the biggest game. No, now we have the biggest game. Oh no, we have the most hours. You're like, fuck. When do I have time?
More ridiculous. Street Fighter's going open world.
Yeah, which is like
of all things. How does that even happen?
Like apparently you walk around and you can just do pickup. I don't know. I don't know. It's like a hub thing, but it's a big hub, and you're like walk around and you can walk around as a Roo and be like, hey, you want to fight? Okay, and then the story you'll interact. I'm like.
Now, to be fair, Mortal Kombat did that years ago.
Yeah, but the levels were big. They were big, but they weren't. It wasn't like a strict open world. It was like going through levels.
But it was just something gimmicky and new at the time, too.
But it was cool.
That was an idea that was interesting at the time, but like it's kind of like mythologies, right? Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get why you did it, but like we don't need to revisit that. You know? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like Street Fighter, come on, man. Just
I think it's like I said,
like animated movie stuff or whatever. Like that's cool because that animated movie, Street Fighter animated movie is awesome.
Yeah,
it's
really good.
Intercut in like scenes like that. If you want to do a story mode, just do like a story mode. You don't need to roam around. You don't need to make me fetch quest over across this whatever part of Japan to get to my next battle.
Yeah, no, I think that Street Fighter going that route is their logic is probably like, you know, people are just probably tired of like, you know, just seeing a character page and, you know, static cutscenes, and we're going to give them something different because we don't want to feel stale. But here's the thing, I'm going to go back, and I've said this on a previous video. I said this about horror games too. Like, nobody fucking asked you to do that. No one asked you to do that. No one said, man, you know what? I used to love playing Street Fighter. Man, me too. Wouldn't it be cool if it went open world? Yeah, that's what it needs because it's a fucked up game. Like, nobody ever asked you for that. Nobody asked you, Capcom, for that shit.
Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter or whatever, like, I play those to play Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. I don't play Street Fighter and wish it was GTA.
Yeah. You don't.
You know,
you don't.
Like...
And even Mortal Kombat, for doing the whole, like, Deception Armageddon, they did the mode where you roam around in a fairly large level, but it wasn't really open world. It wasn't like I can go bowl or do something silly, right, with the characters. But in Mortal Kombat,
he was roaming around. Was it? Was it? Let's see. Fuck, I forget.
There's the one where you play as a Shinjuku or whatever. You go from a young guy to an old guy.
Yeah, and that one, like, you went all over the place.
Yeah, but I just think though, I think though, well, which is kind of neat because like they did the Crypt and 11 where you walk around as a character. you know, and you're just exploring. But it wasn't really a world.
But like Mortal Kombat's always tried new things. And
yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Like I really don't have a problem with gimmicky things like that. Like it's kind of cool.
Because they'll never do it again.
Like,
they'll usually do it once or twice and be like, you know what, this is. Ed Boon will go like, yeah, let's just quit all that. This is nonsense, and let's just get back to the meat of the matter. And I feel like you said, I hate when game companies feel like they got to change it. It's like, but if your community did not ask you for that, then we're fine with the way it is. Street Fighter has fundamentally been the same game for years.
Kind of though. Like if they did the same thing, people complain about that too. So
true.
Like I get trying to do something. It's just like, but you know, again, you don't go to Street Fighter and want like GTA. Like
yeah, exactly.
I get like introducing a new mechanic or a new thing or like a puzzle
new characters or whatever the fuck, yeah,
or some shit like that, or a racing mini game, and you know, like, again, Mortal Kombat did that.
That was an Armageddon, yeah.
You know, like whatever, little extras and things like that. I don't really have a problem with that or trying new things.
Yeah.
And I don't even really care that Street Fighter's doing it. Like, I mean, I'll be curious to see how it plays out, and they might execute it really well.
Well, if they do anything with online though, and the hub world is just like a big lobby, like I don't really want to walk around as Ryu or Ken and see like a trillion Ryu and Kens, because everybody plays a lot of the same. And it'd be like you'll see like 400 Chun-Li's. A lot of people play a lot of the same exact characters, so you're like.
And if you turn on game chat, they'll just be in there shitting on each other anyway.
Yeah, well, you fucking suck, crap. And so it's just one of those things. But you're right. I don't play Street Fighter for an open world experience. They tried that with. I had it on the original Xbox. I had Final Fight Streetwise, and they turned Final Fight to this open world kind of thing, and you run around and you had to fight shit and things. And while the story wasn't bad, and the game wasn't necessarily like terrible, it's Final Fight. Just let me go from point A to point B, and just fighting shit like how the original, because that's what people love. And I feel like that doesn't work, you know. Like you said, it's like nobody's asking you to do that, and people continue to buy Street Fighter, even though it's kind of like it doesn't have that quarter munching power like it used to, obviously, but nobody really plays it for that. And so it's the same thing I said about the horror games. It's kind of like, oh, nobody likes horror games, so we just stopped making them. No, nobody asked you to stop making them. We just want you to make good ones and stop making fucking clones and rip-offs and just complete shit fucking games. And the indie scene really brought the horror genre back. But there's so many times game companies who always say, oh, we listen to our communities. You fucking don't. So don't say that you do when you don't. And they always say that we're listening to you, we listen to our community, we get on the forums. No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't do half the shit you're doing. But you do it anyway. And I'm not wishing Street Fighter 6 or whatever to fall in his face. I don't want to see that happen, and I don't want to see them lose.
It could very well surprise me.
It could be. It could be.
I really expect them to introduce this mode, and it suck, and they'll never do it again.
Yeah.
And you know, and again, I don't fault the game for trying something new, because like innovation's key, and like you know, if you didn't ever do anything new, people would bitch about that too.
Yeah, like, so it's always the same.
I get trying stuff, but you don't need, like, one game does not need to do everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be every game. Like, next thing you know, it's going to be you gotta roam around in Street Fighter and get your battles, and then you can get in your car, and then it's like Gran Turismo, and then like you can go to the casino, and it's like
you're like, no, I don't. No.
People play Street Fighter. For the competition aspect of it, you know, like it's big in that world, you know, the
and if you want to do,
competition world.
And the way I see it is like if you want to do some cool fights and do some karaoke and play pool on the side and do some really, and have zany side quests and do crazy shit, then fucking play Yakuza. Yeah, just play that, because that series is fantastic, and it has some of the best story writing in any game. I have them all, and I'm really happy that Like a Dragon is one of the games you're giving away for free. So the latest Yakuza game is coming out for free for the August free-to-play games on PS4. I'm like, sold. Yes, thank you. That's going to save me from buying it. And but you know, like you said, it's kind of like you've said it before. Does every fucking game got to have a fighting game at this? I mean, I was shocked that Dynasty Warriors even went that route. I could see them why they did it. They're like, we just turned Dynasty Warriors into a hack and slash action RPG, which is what they did. And you get to explore China. I get that. China's a big place, but did it really need that, in all honesty? No. And
sometimes it's executed well, too. Like, you know, I mentioned Mortal Kombat doing all these things, but, like, Mortal Kombat's endured, though. And it's introduced a lot of these things at, like, just the right time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and, like, now it's still one of the most serious fighting games out there.
Yeah.
Taken seriously. It's expertly executed almost every time.
Yeah.
And, you know, and out of that evolution, we got the cool crypt now that you can, it's kind of like its own little free roam thing that you go and discover secrets and stuff.
Well, and I thought that was neat. Yeah. And I think, too,
it can be done well.
Yeah.
It's just...
Now, Mortal Kombat 11 did kind of suffer a little bit at launch with its 6 or 7 different fucking kinds of currencies, and they did try to push that microtransaction stuff in the game too because of the customization and stuff, but later on they scaled it back not too long after launch because people were like, fuck your game, and people were returning it. And so Ed Boon and them were like, okay, we fucked up, and that was more or less the publisher, Warner Brothers, making us do that shit. And we went to them, we're like, we can't do this. You know, we're going to lose money. And so, like, they kind of fought with them. And unfortunately, the publisher who fronts that money's like, you're going to do what we fucking want you to do. And it wasn't a case like the Destiny Bungie thing where, oh, Activision put all those transactions in Destiny 2 and Activision made them throttle the EXP. And Activision, no, they didn't. It all came out later where Activision and them separated. Activision came out and said, we never asked them to do that. Bungie wanted to do that. Bungie is fucked Destiny because of that. And they're the ones that say, yeah, we fucking did that. So it's not always the case. But I'll give credit to Ed Boon to kind of push back against that. You know, at least he tried to do what he could. And okay, you don't want us to remove the currency, but we'll make you earn even more. Or, oh, we'll make it less egregious. Because he had to do a compromise. And not to say that Mortal 11, I mean, like, yes, they did have a lot of characters. You had to, you know, season pet, whatever, you had to buy stuff. But that's the nature of business anymore. But, however, I agree with you. Like you said, I don't want to see every game try to be like everything, you know, like it's every game, you know, it's like, I don't really want that, and I don't care for that. You know, it works depending on the game, right? Like, it works for No Man's Sky as a spacing MMO. Of course, I want to be able to be a pirate, or a trader, or an explorer, or yes, there are horror elements now with the derelict stuff, and yes, you can build, and yes, it's a lot, and it has survival mechanics. So yes, it's a lot of different genres. But it's all in the confines of a universe in its science fiction and space setting. And that's few and far between. But I also, like you said, it'd be like if, hey, you know, like when COD World War II came out, and a lot of people are like, oh, I got this fucking army base I gotta roam around on, and it's a hub. I kind of dug that only because it was just kind of unique. And then people bitched about it because you had to go there first, and then they decided, okay, we'll make it optional. You can hit a button and go directly to the fucking game match screen and fight, or you can go to this hub little area and walk around and get different things. And I was glad they compromised on that. It's nice when they do that. It doesn't happen very often, but that was we'll probably never see that again, another COD game. But I did like that because they gave away the game free, so I got it for free, like 1 month. I don't know why it was like one of the free-to-play games, but they gave it away, and I got it then on monthly games, and I said, I kind of dig the whole run around this little army base, and just because it's just different, you know, it was something new, unique, and it was World War II, so, but I also don't want to see like the next COD. It's just open world, and you just, hey, you want a match? Okay, oh, here's the team deathmatch area, and let me run over here, get in a Jeep, drive over. It's unnecessary. So, yeah. But no, I mean, you're right. It's like Street Fighter, it's going to be an open world type game now. You're like, why?
It's probably going to be 800 hours.
Yeah.
Quest,
Quest. Yeah, I can see that. It's going to be egregious and microtransaction, and we'll see. Capcom could fuck it up.
So kind of different thing. I'm usually a little more positive than you about things.
Typically.
But like,
I own my bitterness with the fucking game industry.
Yeah. Again, I usually try to stay a little more positive, but this whole car thoughts thing, it's been dragging out some issues apparently. So that was one of my issues with the pre-orders. I had another issue, and I'm looking at it now, that I'll talk about, and it's with this whole the new PS Plus stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like the 3-tiered fuck you situation they're
doing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like I get them trying to compete with Game Pass. I understand, because Game Pass rocks.
Then they should just done what Game Pass did, made it $10, and play whatever.
But
right?
Now there's this overly complicated 3-tier system you got to figure out, and like which tier you want to get. And then like I don't know, I just don't like things about it. Like, okay, so Xbox, right? Game Pass, for the most part, one choice. Like, you can have the ultimate, but it like really all it does is it includes gold too.
Yeah.
So, if you want Game Pass, you just get Game Pass. That's really all you got to worry about. And then you can play these games that cycle through or whatever. You can also buy them if you want.
Yeah.
Right? My biggest freaking pet peeve with PlayStation, other than they give you the three-tier thing that you got to figure out which one you want. Overly complicated system. But then they lock games behind. I hate that.
Yeah.
So, and like they lock it, like they'll put them in the PlayStation Store, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen that.
One example I have is like the original Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, there's the remake they did, which is like based off the GameCube thing, and you can buy that.
Yeah.
But if you want like just the original Resident Evil
PS1 title,
yeah, it's on the PSN store, but you can't buy it. It's locked behind that PS Plus subscription tier.
Yep. And that's fucked up.
It is fucked up. Like, I don't know.
Because
it just rubs me the wrong way.
Here's the thing, though, too, that I'm not happy about with that tiered system that they're doing, which I don't like at all. Like, my big issue with it is if you wanted to compete with Game Pass, then you should have just done play at PS Game Pass. $10 a month, access to your streaming library. That's it. That's it. People would have ponied up for that. I don't like feeling like, okay, I didn't pony up, so your regular plus you just keep, and you get your 2 free games a month, whatever. But when I look at what's available to play, that's on there, because I had PS Now, which essentially is just them disguising PS Now as PS Plus. I had a trial of it. I was like, okay, great that you put PS1 games on there. Great that there's PS2 games on there. But the problem I have with the whole fucking thing is there are a lot of games, since I never owned the PS2, just an example, or even I did own a PS1 at one point. They're gonna put on there the titles that people want to see. Metal Gear Solid, I know Siphon Filter's on there, Resident Evil, whatever. But how about, is Apocalypse going to be there with Bruce Willis? We're not going to see that game. Is like saying this running gun shooter I used to play called One, is that going to be in there? Probably not. Is Overblood going to be in there?
The
nope.
selection of games is very,
yeah.
very all.
Like, and if it's PS2, it's like, I would love to go back and play the very first ever Monster Hunter, because I love that series. Probably will never be put on there. So I just feel like there's going to be a lot of games that I owned on my PS1 that are really, they're kick-ass games, probably not going to be on there. And it's like, if you're going to have the library, then put it fucking all on there and charge one price. Don't just pick and choose like, well, people want to play Metal Gear and they want to play Resident Evil and they want to play this and they want to play that. Motherfucker, the way I saw it was, that's fine. Oh, look, I can play the PS2 version of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. Oh, or I can just buy the remastered version that's a better version of it that's already out. Right? Yeah. Or, it's like, because so many of those old games have been re-fucking done and put back out anyway. The Blood Rains, all that shit has been remade. So you're like, is it really worth it to me to have that? No.
Old version.
Yeah.
On a monthly basis.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's made worse, in my opinion, by the whole way that they toyed around with the backwards compatibility in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? When the PS5 came out, it was like, okay, for sure you'll be able to do PS4. We're looking at maybe doing PS3, PS2, PS1. We don't really know. And like clear up until like almost launch did they ever even come out and say, okay, it's only PS4, PS5.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do shit like this, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, okay, architecture changes and what the fuck ever, right?
Yeah.
But like, you own that shit. It is your shit. It's not proprietary. It's shit you made. You can't figure out a way to make it work again. That's really what you're telling me?
Yeah.
And like, you know, I'm a computer guy, so I kind of understand some of that stuff on like reasons why. But like, really, you know, there's all this cloud gaming stuff that they're implementing. Like, you can, if you wanted to, you could make it work, right?
Yeah.
That's really what I'm saying. And like, when you have the Xbox, you can get the Series X or Series X or S. Really, X is kind of what I'm talking about. Because, you know, you can play the Series games, you can play the Xbox One games, you can play the 360 games, and you can play some original Xbox games. Like, you can play all the way back all these things. Like, it's not every title, but it's a large selection from, you know, from those previous things, and some of them are those really weird one-off titles and stuff. Not the ones like Siphon Filter that's going to be remade and re-released.
Well, one, like Siphon Filter, and people for some reason just like went nuts over that game. That game was shit. First of all, the guy, when he runs, it looks like his pants is full of shit. Like, it looks like he's got just dumped in his pants. And you can, if you just look at the way he runs, look it up on YouTube. On the original,
that game was so popular too. And
I love that game. Was terrible. Aiming was terrible. Like, and when he runs, it's like he's running on ice or sand where he's sliding everywhere, and it legitimately looks like his pants are full of shit. Like he shit himself. It's fucking terrible. It's fucking terrible. And it's like, everybody loves it.
What we should do sometime is just go and play and stream some really popular games that we hate.
Yeah, that would be great.
Really terrible.
Yeah,
because that is one. I never did like that game.
No, that game was horrible. Like, and I guess it was kind of like, let's jump on Metal Gear's bandwagon and do some. No, not even close. Not even the same ballpark. I mean, and even though I think Metal Gear Solid was a good game, it wasn't a great game, but it was a good game. It's kind of like, you know, it's like, but aside from
Metal Gear Solid was pretty awesome.
It was pretty good. I ain't saying it was not. I'm not saying anything bad or negative about it, but I'm saying that, you know, Siphon Filter was like just fucking stupid. Like, it was just stupid. Even the name is stupid. Like, I did never like that game. And of course, I guess 2 came out, and 3 came out, and 4 came out, whatever, fucking how many, and whatever. But like I said before, with the PS Plus stuff, there are just dozens of games on there that need to be on there that they're not going to put on there. Worst part is, there's a shit ton of games on there that I would have I wouldn't even fucking touch. I'm not playing that. I have no interest in that. So it's not like Game Pass is like, hey, they're on there, but you get to choose what you want to play. Yes, in some instances, PS Plus is the same way, but some of that stuff's weird too. It's like you can stream this game, but you got to download this game, or you can do it. It's like they wanted to compete with Microsoft and came up with this solution, but had nothing planned, nothing like
it
actually
feels like an afterthought.
Yeah, it's like, oh well, we're gonna do this to compete. Look what we're doing. Do you have everything in place to make sure it works? No. Then go fuck yourself. Like, it's like I just don't get. So when it came time and that came out and things changed, I said, is it worth it to me to buy like the top tier or buy whatever? And the answer to me was no, it wasn't, and I didn't. I didn't pony up. I kept my original plus. I'm happy with my 2 free games a month. This month is Tony Hawk's 1 and 2. Boom, get the remaster of that, and I get Yakuza Like a Dragon. So I get 2 really good games for free. And so, great. So I don't give a fuck about playing. And I just look at it too. Between everything else I'm playing, it's like, do I really want to get in there and just, here's another 1,000 games you can play? Like, fuck, I have a hard time figuring out my own library. What to play, let alone go in there and play some game from 20 years ago. I don't even want that option.
Yeah, I don't even understand the extra tier either, right?
Yeah.
There's the one, the basic one that you have, and then there's the top one that gives you the cloud streaming and the weird, like, whatever. But then there's that extra one that just gives you like some PS4 games. Like that.
Yeah, it's just really weird. Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck you. Yeah. Yeah. So moving on. We made it this far. Might as well keep talking about these car thought topics that I have. We'll talk about it with you.
No, these are good topics.
So, yeah. So my other one, or another one of mine, was backlog. Actually, I talked about backlog of games and like, how do you handle backlog? Like, because games just keep coming.
No shit. I mean, we talked about this. We talked about how it was like, you knew the 2 to 3 really cool games were coming at the end of the year, and you'd have a couple not throwaway games, but like AA games throughout the year. Everything else was just bullshit, right? So you played at 1 or 2 games that preoccupied you to the new cool shit come out. And now it's like every fucking month there's something cool coming out. What the fuck? They just keep coming.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's the big titles that you look forward to.
Yes.
So you got those planned out and you plan for. And then there's the ones that surprise you along the way. And then there's like the sales, right?
Yeah. The sales get me every time. Every time.
Yeah, and I'll go through every week or whatever. I'll go through them. You might as well get them on the cheap if you think you might find one day.
Yeah.
So I had all kinds of games like a week or a month or whatever. I'm like, I don't even know. I got fucking games I ain't played. I've had for like years and I still ain't played. And it's like, and it ain't getting no better because games just keep coming and I keep getting more.
Before the digital age, you used to be like, John would be like, yeah, I have that game. I haven't even opened it. It's still sealed. It's like you never fucking opened it.
That's still the case. I got some right here.
It's just sealed, never touched. Look, it's hard.
Here's NBA 2K22. I've got it like as a free game or whatever. So, okay, here, look. Okay, right off, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, NBA 2K22 sealed. The Quarry sealed. Guardians of the Galaxy sealed. The Raid, sealed. Lost Judgment sealed.
Jesus.
Spirit of the North sealed. Medium sealed.
Gosh.
Surviving the Aftermath sealed. Those are all the games I have sitting here that it's sealed in plastic that I haven't even opened.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like I said, the backlog
Star Wars,
is crazy.
Jedi Collection sealed.
Man.
Like, I don't know, man.
I tell you what's hard about it, and it goes back into what we talked about earlier, where so many games are just so vast and big and crazy. It's kind of like I can play it in snippets if I want to. it's disheartening to me sometimes to put in a game and press this button for a tutorial island you're on, hit this button for the map, and you hit it and you zoom out and you're like, fuck. You're like, it's just like, yeah.
And like, not even to talk about, like, just because it's not sealed doesn't mean I've played it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, okay, Evil Within 2, right? You know how long I've had that game?
No,
like,
probably a while.
Since it came out.
Yeah.
And,
oh, that game's open world too, by the way.
Yeah, I know, whatever.
Yeah, it's like I never even played it. It's just there.
And, and like, it's not like, I mean, sometimes that's bad shit, I guess, but, oftentimes it's the sales, right? And it's not, the PSN sales are one part, but then it's also GameStop and Target gets me all the time because they do the buy two get one free. Right?
Yeah, yep.
So like, there'll be like two that I want, or like one that I want. I'll find another one. Oh, hey, I'll add that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, what I pick for the third one?
Yeah.
And that's like, like the NBA 2K22 right here, for example. Like, you know me, I like the 2K games.
Yes, you do. Yes.
And I like playing the story. I like playing my career, and then that's kind of about all I do with it, really. But I like it. It's fun to me.
Yeah.
But like, I was gonna sit it out and just not get it because I haven't been playing it. But it was during one of those sales, and like I needed something for my free game or whatever, so like I just throw it in there.
Yeah. And just throw it in there. Yeah. Look it.
So then it sits here because it's I'm playing all this other shit, and it's like, cause there's a backlog is a real problem now.
It is. Going. No, I agree.
And it's not just PS5. It's also Switch. It's also Xbox. It's also, like, and I did this to myself, I realized, but I don't know.
But no, the backlog is real, and I feel you there. And the two systems I devote to, I mean, I just recently, I am buying, like, I have a 360. I was playing it last night because I had found a copy at Half Price Books of Midnight Club complete for $2. I was like, well, I gotta buy that. It was $2. It's the Platinum Complete. It has everything and all the DLC. And I got Tron Evolution finally. I found it cheap, and I'm pretty much one or two other titles on my 360, and I'm done. Like, I'll have everything I owned before. But so I'm not too worried about playing those because I have played those in the past, and most of them I have completed. So it's like whatever. But I'm with you. Like, the two main systems I devote to is my PS4 and my Switch. I bought on Switch recently. I bought something called Pascal's something or other, and it's like a Dark Souls-like game. And it looked really good, and it came out. It was like 17 or whatever it was. I picked it up, and I've not even played it yet. It's just sitting there, ready to play. And I have games on my PS4 my external hard drive bellied up on me finally and died, but like, there are stuff that I know for a fact that I purchased on there and maybe loaded it up to see what it looked like, okay, and then turn it off and just haven't got to it because I'm always, it's always hard for me to go back to some things especially when I've had a lot of problems with my hard drive stuff and my save stuff, and it's like where my PlayStation's old and different things going on, and so it's like, like I lost some saves here or there, and then I have to restart, and it's difficult. And then the other problem I run into is like, man, I'm going to play some No Man's Sky today, and I could play it all day and feel like I accomplished something, but I really didn't because it's fucking No Man's Sky. There's so much to do, and you can do. So it's snippets, and so I feel like that I play a lot of my games in snippets. Like, I'll play something. Okay, now I've been playing Dungeons and Daria like a lot because it's fantastic, but I'm still on the second goddamn dungeon. I've had the game for 2 weeks. I'm like, or whatever. So I'm like, I still cannot. It's just like that game you got to play and put time in, and it's great. It's such a great game, but it's like another one of those time sink games. And then you start thinking, well, fuck, a lot of games are anyway. Now they're just time sinks. So if I really want to, I really almost have to pick one game and devote. Yeah, they just don't. I've been playing pretty much, I mean, on and off here and there, but literally I've been playing Monster Hunter World for over 3 years. Because the game, yes, it has credits, there is an ending cutscene. But you can keep playing and fighting and building and doing shit, and it's like, fuck, you just feel that need. If I want to get the armor, this armor set, I gotta do this, or I want to get this, because there's just so much to do in it. And like you said, it's like that feeling I've
had to really refine my focus.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for a little while now. So, but there's gonna be games like that. Like, I've been playing ESO since launch.
Yeah.
So like, that's always going to be kind of just around. I'll probably always kind of go back to it a little bit here. But
yeah.
That kind of has that. There's usually some kind of multiplayer game in there that I'm playing with somebody here and there, like when we get into it, or a casual game or something like that.
Yeah.
But as far as my single player kind of story experience, I try, as long as it entertains me, to like just do one at a time until I move through. Like, that's the only way I ever play through stuff. I just can't.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't, because, a lot of times I'll get something, like, I like so many things, so I'll be in the mood for something for a little bit, and then I'm no longer in the mood of something different. So,
yeah.
Something will be coming out, and I'm looking forward to it, and something else distracts me, and it's like, I know I'll play it at some point.
Yeah.
It just might be a year from now. So
yeah.
I don't mind some of that. Like, I just got around to trying that Death Stranding not too long ago.
Yeah, you had messaged me about it,
yeah. Yeah. And I think I've just kind of moved on, because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a cool story, but I don't know that I want to spend my time figuring it out, going down the road, But yeah, I don't know. And then, the sales, like we talked about, gets me. I just added a bunch of new stuff, by the way.
Yeah.
Summer sale.
Yeah, I just picked up on the new, it was not on the sale, that Tormented Souls thing or whatever, which I'm saving for October, but but I also just took kind of a chance on it, on the new title. I bought that new game that came out called Exploria, and been playing that the last couple days, just kind of getting into that. And that's a role-play game of I wouldn't say, Two Worlds-ish would be the closest approx to it, but not really. It's definitely indie-rific. The weirdest thing, though, I will say about the game is, since you fight and you do stuff, and it's like stamina-based combat, but not anything like Dark Souls, but it's like, it's got a lot of issues. It's like, options wise, there's virtually no options, and if you turn left or right, the camera turns slow, like not super slow, but slow, and there's no way to change that. And there is no like leveling in the game. You just earn money and try to buy or better equipment, and it's got a weird interface. And you explore, and there's different things about it, but like the characters, I don't know. It's like, it's a weird RPG, because you could totally tell the budget was very small. But the weirdest thing, though, I will say about it, and I'll give it, it's got probably, I don't know where they got the music to it, but like the music, whoever scored it, whatever they did to do it, it's probably some of the best music I've ever heard ever. Like in an RPG. It's insane. It's like, because Skyrim and Elder Scrolls has this great cinematic soundtrack with strings and horns and all this stuff. Exploria's has that, but it's better. I don't even know how to. It's like they spent all their money on the fucking music. And I listened to the headphones last night while she was asleep. I'm playing it, and I'm just listening. I'm like, that is insane. Like, that's the most insane cinematic music I've ever heard. Ever. And I was like, did they just spend their entire fucking budget on the fucking, like it's like a whole fucking goddamn symphony? And I'm thinking, this is an indie game. If somebody they knew composed it, like, they're fucking good. And if they didn't, and they used some kind of stock music, I don't know where it would have been from, but holy shit! Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, I was like astounded by the music. The music, even though the rest of the game is like just fucked. You know, it's like it's hard to describe. I'm gonna have to play it. I'm just gonna have to play it on one of my. I'll do a gaming roundtable on it so people can see. But it's just one.
In the store.
Yeah, and just it's
like,
just
oh,
it's kind of like I said, it's. I don't want to say it's Two Worlds because at least Two Worlds had voice acting. This does not. There's a little bit of voice acting at the beginning for the main character, but it's like you just have a suit of armor. And you already start with it, but you could only like buy swords and shields and like whatnot. And it's got bugs where, like, I don't know. I'm just kind of going off a tangent on it. But what I'm saying is that that's part of that backlog. I'm buying shit when I really don't need to. And I have like just dozens of games that are just there on my library. It was really bad when I had my 4 terabyte before it blew up, because at any moment I had 150 plus games downloaded, even though my library is well over 700 on the purchased. It's like, fuck me. And of course it makes matters worse. Oh great, well in August I get 2 more free fucking games. They're free, so of course I'm getting them because they're free. But Yakuza Like a Dragon, like, I have the entire Yakuza series. And I went all the way through 0, and I went all the way through 1. I've never been all the way through 2. Then she got me the big collections, the 3, 4, and 5. I have 6. I haven't even played 6. I've had 6 on my fucking system for 2 years. So it's like what the fuck, right? It's like, Jesus Christ, I can't even get around to fucking playing it.
I'm complaining about the backlog, and like, I have all these methods that tend to get games. Like, for one, the ones I want, and sometimes I'll get them even and not get around to playing for a while.
Yeah.
And then there's the PSN store sales that come up, so I'll do that. There's the indie games that pop up that you just, play. And then there's the deals, whether it's Target or GameStop. But there is also another thing, and it's pretty unique to me, to somewhat. But, again, like, I own this business, right?
Yeah.
So, I have a business credit card that I use, and it generates rewards, cash back pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I spend lots of money on it all the time, like thousands and thousands of dollars every month, usually.
Yeah.
For business purchases, right? Because I, buy and sell computers and servers and things like that. So,
yeah.
It's not uncommon to spend $15,000 a month.
Yeah.
On this thing. So it generates a lot of Amazon credit because it's through Amazon.
Yeah.
So I get hundreds of dollars in Amazon every month.
Yeah.
To just like waste, really. And like, I know I can use it for things, but like, you can kind of only get so much on Amazon. I mean, as far as what you need, right? Like, you can't go grocery shopping on Amazon. I mean, you can a little bit, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, exactly.
So, like, most of the movies and games that I want, I just get through there because it doesn't cost me anything.
Yeah, true.
So I end up with shit through there all the time too. So like just this week, I guess I had a bunch of Amazon credits. So like that's where I got the Quarry because it was on sale.
Yeah.
Because it was on sale PSN, but they also put it on Amazon for sale too.
Might as well get it in.
So I used my credit to get that. I got Vampire Masquerade Swan Song at launch, but it was an Amazon credit, another one.
Yeah.
On the PSN store, I had ended up getting that Tormented Souls that was on sale. Indigo Prophecy, actually, remember that one?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was, just a couple of dollars, so I added that to my library because I never bought it on here. I got it on disc somewhere.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's like kind of where that stuff started. That Tormented Soul, I think I mentioned that. That we talked about the last time, the Earth Defense Force World Brothers. I went ahead and added that because it's on sale.
Yeah.
And of all things, I end up, because the third one's coming out, I end up getting using my Amazon credit, Bayonetta.
Yeah, Bayonetta 3. Yeah, yeah. That's crazy.
Well, 3's not out, so I can do the 1 and 2 because I actually have never played through them.
Oh, they're great
games.
You
play them.
Yeah, I have the first one, and I recently, last year, I got, or maybe beginning of this year, I bought Bayonetta 2 for my Wii U from a game exchange. Now, I was kind of mad because it was the edition that was supposed to come with the first game, and then they told me, well, that's used, and the original one came, if you bought it new, came with a code, and you downloaded Bayonetta 1 on your Wii U. And I said, oh. But then they put Bayonetta 1 on the PS4, so I was like, oh, okay, well, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So I'll tell you about that. So, you know, I didn't, my options for getting that, like 1 and 2's on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where 3's coming on. So I know, like, they have at least the second one on PSN. You said the first one's on PSN?
The first one's on PSN. The second one is not. That was a Nintendo exclusive because they made that. They ponied up the money to have that made. So Platinum got the money strictly from Nintendo, and you weren't getting it on anything else.
Okay. So, yeah, 3's going that way, too. So it's like, well, if I'm going to get it, I might as well just do it on Nintendo. So... you know, the options are the eShop, which is $30 a piece.
Yeah.
Or you can get the physical copy of 2, which comes with the download of 1.
Yeah.
Now it's still like $60 for that. Like because it's a Nintendo title now. It just doesn't ever drop in price.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, it's you never see those first party shit drop ever. And if they do, it's only a little bit. Yeah.
So, you know, again, this Amazon credit comes into play. And I'm like, okay, well, now, you know, I got this. I need to figure out what to do with it. So now's the opportunity. I'll go ahead and finally add this Bayonetta in my collection. So I get the physical 1 with the download of 1, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, so then comes in with a common problem on Amazon, by the way. And it's not so much a big deal because most of these consoles are region-free.
Yeah.
You'll get a European version of a game sometimes.
Yeah, the PAL version. Yeah.
And most of the time it's no big deal.
Yeah.
In this case, it kind of was because the codes aren't region-free.
Yeah.
So I can play a PAL version of that on the Switch, but I can't download it.
Yeah.
But there is a workaround, thankfully. And
that's good.
I successfully did it. So you have to, here's what you have to do. You have to go to the Nintendo website and your profile, change your region on there.
Yeah.
And then independently go on your Switch and change the region on there to match. And then everything reboots and relinks and all this stuff. And then it will let you use that code.
Gotcha.
Download it. And once it's all downloaded, then you can switch it all back to the US. So, after a lot of tech work, ended up redeeming that code. And
good.
and I have both of them that I can play. So I started playing Bayonetta 1.
Good.
Long story. So, currently doing that.
Or, if you really wanted to play, you could always have hooked up your 360 and just pay $10 for it on 360's digital. I'm surprised it ain't on Xbox Game Pass, right?
You know, I don't know. Maybe. No, I don't own. I never did own the original versions anyway.
Oh, okay.
And I know, you know, you could find them cheaper, but
might as well get on Switch though, because I plan on doing that myself. I seen that Bayonetta 1 is on PSN, but they oftentimes will do, because they also put it on sale with the other Platinum game, that's that badass third-person like cover shooter. I can't think of the name of it for the life of me, but it's, maybe I was saying, and it's really good. And a lot of times they'll put them both together as a sale for like $10. I want to get the original Bayonetta for sure, and the other game that comes with it. But like I have, like I said, I have 2 on my Wii U, and because I got recently and at a Game Exchange, like I said, and then with the third one coming out on the Switch, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that because I love Bayonet's great series, and Nintendo. Again, another nice thing about them is that they don't censor anymore. So which is great because the Bayonetta 1 on the PSN had some censorship like happen to it, even though there's not really a reason to censor it, but they kind of had them tone up a few areas here and there because Sony's all about like censoring fucking everything now. So which is weird because it used to be like Nintendo censored everything, and now they're just like fuck it, and the whole role reverse now. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, like I said, it's just one of those things where my backlog is astounding, and that's why I was like, I kind of have to. That's why I put my games in folders per genre. So it's kind of like if I feel like a particular genre, like I want to play some fighting games, they're in my fighting folder, so I can go right to it. And right now, because I'm only limited to 200 gigs because of my or I have 1 terabyte. I mean in my hard drive, my internal, because my external is broken now and it's unrepairable. It's like I have to like look at games I'm downloading and be like, okay, well, I'm going to download certain ones, and right now my folders only have 2 or 3 games in them, and I'm keeping some space open for other things, but it's like, but even then, it's still like 50-something games. So my backlog is definitely an issue, because I'm like, so for me, it's, I have to kind of discipline myself and say, okay, you're going to play this, and this is what you're going to play. When I bought Dungeons and Daria, that's what I did. I'm playing this game, and I've been playing the game, right? Now, I played Monster Hunter the other day with my buddy Richard, but we kind of do that on Monday anyway, and then it's kind of like it's like certain games, like I've been playing Diablo 2, and, on my Switch, and I have Diablo 2 on my PlayStation, and I'm trying to figure out a way. Apparently, I was hoping that I could like link up through the BattleNet and play the same character on both. Like either my one character on the Switch, I can also play on my PlayStation. Apparently, that's not a thing. So I was like, it should be. It's just the same server.
Weird, some games do that, and some games don't.
Yeah, and the thing with the Switch is when I bought it on Switch, it was like they made me They resent me, even though I logged into the BattleNet, they sent me a code specifically for the Switch. So I put the code in, and I had to make a character. And then going to the PSN, I thought, well, this is great. I can still play the same character. No, you can't. So it's like, well, shit. Even though you think you should be able to do that. So I was like, well, fuck it. So now, but I've been digging Diablo 2 again, just because it's a old game that I absolutely love, and but again, it's another one of those things. I kind of have to like pick and choose. Like, I'm going to play this game this week to try to get
work. It does. That Diablo 2, it does say it does that cross progression.
That's what it says, but I can't get it to. I can't get it to do anything. Like it just won't let me do it. Like, it's weird. I don't know. I've tried, and I ain't been able to get it to work using my PlayStation. But that's neither here nor there. Like
PlayStation and Switch.
Yes, where the PlayStation, like my character on Switch, because when I bought it on Switch, it's like log into BattleNet. I use my login, and then they sent me a code to be able to play on BattleNet. But they also sent me a code when I bought it the day it launched on PSN, because it was on PSN. So it's like totally different code. So I don't know. It's really no big deal. It really isn't that big of a deal. I just was like, it'd be cool to be able to do that, go back and forth. But the thing is like you said, I'm going to kind of conclude my take on my backlog is like, at times it's like I have to discipline myself to, I'm going to play these couple games this week and that's it. Get a bunch of shit done in it. Maybe move on. but I want to at least give my games a fair shake. But at the same time, I also have to discipline myself and be like, you're not fucking buying anything this week. Because you already got games you still haven't played, and it's hard.
But you know you will.
It's hard.
You know you will.
I know. I usually cave. I know, sadly, but I try not. But there are times where I don't. I'm like, I'm not. I just can't. I just can't.
What works well for me, like I said, is just kind of, like you're limited. Just limit yourself to like at least a handful at a time.
Yeah.
Like, something to scratch this itch, and then something to scratch this. So, like, you're playing your Monster Hunter, right? That's just kind of your common thing.
That's my go-to game.
Diablo. You may want to play a action adventure or whatever, action RPG, some shit like that. But then, like, if you want like your single story experience, like, just do one until you make it through.
Yeah.
And then, like, my dog beside me doing one of those sneeze things.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, no, and that's a good. Damn. Yeah, there's a problem. No, they've been having they've been, so it's like I said, it's like Monster Hunter is my go-to game because I just love it, and the action RPG, like whether I'm playing Diablo or The Avengers of Van Helsing, they're just go-to games for me. I know what I'm getting out of it. I love that genre. But then it's like, and if I just, and like lately I've been kind of getting into, like, I've been digging my sci-fi shit again, so I've been trying to like play some No Man's Sky, or I play in Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, another time sink, but it's kind of like,
and
those games,
those never end.
Yeah.
So, like, they're just kind of good, just kind of all the time to just jump back to every now and again. What I'm saying is, like, don't be playing through like Horizon Zero Dawn or something, and Yakuza 6 and Death Stranding, all of
yeah. You're just like, fuck.
Stick with, like, games that kind of have a reasonable beginning and end. Like, just try to move your way through before you bounce around. And that's really
that's right.
me to kind of focus on that. And so like right now, I'm messing around with Bayonetta casually. Been streaming the Swan Song stuff. And I'll probably, I don't know, maybe mess around with like some EDF or something like that. But try not to get too much going until like I make it through something, like whether it's Bayonetta or Swan Song.
Yeah. Well, EDF is great anyway, because it's another one of those games that you're not going to sit down and do it in one sitting, but you can play 10 levels and accomplish quite a bit and get a good amount of gameplay in. Because of when my external went belly up and my PlayStation completely froze when it happened, and it fucked everything up. And it took me 2-3 tries to get my PlayStation basically working again. I got it working. And then when I went and checked on all of my saves, said like non-installed application. And I was like, why is my save saying that? What the fuck? I mean, I'll go on my cloud stuff. So I go on my cloud saves, and it's saying the same fucking thing. Either it's saying data corrupted, or it's saying, non-installed application. And I literally, because everything was more or less stored on my external, it fucked everything up. So I had to redo the whole fucking PlayStation pretty much from scratch again. And there was a lot of games that I'm like, fuck, I gotta restart this fucking shit, So, and some of them are games I had a lot of work done in them. So it's like my Dynasty Warriors 9, like I had a fuck ton of shit done in that game, and now I have nothing. And my Earth Defense Force was like that. Like my Earth Defense Force 5 that me and you were playing through, when it came out, it's like I had to start from the beginning. And I was like playing it, and I was like, you know what? It ain't too bad even from the beginning, because it's just another one of those, because it's just such a fun game, Like it's just, and I had forgotten about like the beginning, and that made me laugh is when the character's all like, oh, you killed my friend, and then he's all happy, time for revenge. It's just silliness that I forgot that the game did, so it was like, it just made me laugh.
I did go through and reinstall all my EDF games though.
Yeah, I have them all. I have all of them on PS4. I even have the Wing Diver shooter game. It's like a shoot 'em up. I have that game,
Yeah.
which I got for very cheap. And I've got Iron Rain and World Brothers and 5, and I've got 4 point whatever Shadow New Despair, which is just EDF 2025 with a bunch of added shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got all that shit.
Yeah, I got those. So I just re-downloaded them all and have them at the ready. So
Yeah.
you know, because another one of the things we talked about doing was just doing some co-op games like that.
Yeah, and that's something that we're going to do, definitely. We got to get into doing, I think it'd be great if we played some EDF for the folks, because EDF is just a joy to play with people. It's fun as hell to play by yourself, but it's joyous to have different, playing different characters and playing through it, and just, it's such a good game series. I fucking love that game series. So we talked about it recently, and it's
so
like...
That's the thing, I guess, is which one do we start with?
If we had to pick one, I think we should do what we know. I think we should do 5, because we had the most fun with that, with the singing and the fucking Wing Diver yelling EDF with a lot of emphasis. So it's like we had so much fun with that
we
game.
We could start with 5.
Yeah.
We could start with World Brothers, which I haven't even played yet.
World Brothers is fun.
We could really just start with 4 and then just work our way.
Yeah. Either way, really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. So definitely the people, our subscribers out there and our followers, be on the lookout here soon. Me and Posthuman Guy here, we are going to bring you some Earth Defense Force, and not that knockoff Planetary Defense Force, but we're going to be bringing you some. So that's on PS4 too. I found it as Switch as well. So it's on fucking both. It's on sale, I think, too, which is even more funny. Like I almost want to buy it just.
It's a completely different kind of game.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's so such a ripoff.
What are you trying to do? A wing diver here? What's going on here? It's probably called a fly diver. Or something. Who the fuck knows? But no, but we're going to bring you all some Earth Defense Force, because me and you've been an advocate for that game for a while. I've been since I bought the original 2015 on 360 for like on a whim, because it just looked cool, and I just fell in love with the series because I'd never played anything like it, and I've been hooked on that game series ever since, and I'm looking forward to the new one that's coming out, and that's just such a great game.
Disc, because I know like Insect Armageddon's are my favorite ones.
Yeah, I have it on 360.
I know I had it. I don't know if I still have it or not. But
it's
compatible.
Yeah, because Insect Armageddon has interesting. I wish they would remaster that, to be honest with you, because I could play it on PS4. But like,
so good.
It's the Western version of EDF, which the same people that made Iron Rain. It's the Western version of EDF. This stuff takes place in America, and like the other games tie in, and it's neat. It's a neat thing that they Iron Rain took some cheekiness, but still more or less did a serious game, and Insect Armageddon was along the same lines. So it's nice that's a game series that's just another one of those games you pick up, you play it, the levels don't take too long, you're earning stuff, weapons, and blah blah blah. It's such a great game. Even World Brothers, like I said, even though you switch between the 4 different characters on the fly, it's just the fact that they've got all these different characters in the game, from ninjas, and they're from their respective countries. Sure. It's definitely different, but it still feels like EDF when you play it. When you play as a wing diver, you play.
Man, I don't know. Like it's so, like I love the Lego games, right? And I realize it's not that, but like I do love them. And it feels like an even lighter version of EDF. And I'm watching, like, there's the four players or 4 character stuff, and like I know like how you unlock stuff's different, unlock the players different.
It's I was like,
I don't know.
Yeah, because all the levels have like 3.
Sale,
yeah.
And I love all the others, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll add it.
You might as well, because it's neat, because you actually fight the different motherships from the different games, all the games, and it has all the characters. Like, I mean, there's characters I've unlocked that's like, oh, this is the air diver or the wing diver from like the second game ever. right? So you're like, that's neat. And but you also like it seems like most of the levels have 3 characters you unlock with variants of those same characters. But like you can unlock characters from all over the world, and it's kind of like their character makes sense for that country they're from, which is neat. And they also have like some guest characters that you can buy. One's from Onitshabara and one's from different games. But like I ended up like really liking it because it's interesting to play, being able to play as a wing diver, and you're playing a wing diver. You play as an air raider. You play, so they all have the different weapons, and any of the classes in the game you can swap out to any of the weapons, just like regular EDF, and you name your squad and you give them a symbol and different things. And so like it's kind of neat to be able to play and try different like characters. Like there's the Spartan guy from Greece, and it's just neat. Yeah, the special attacks are really cool. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's definitely worth playing, and it's more EDF but done in a blocky way. It's very Minecraft-ish kind of in its view, but it's a great game.
Got it because it's like the deluxe edition or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever one is on sale on the thing. So like
it
came with the added characters and whatever. I don't know. I was like, well, I might as well just get it because I like that series.
Yeah.
I have that one now too.
Yeah, Earth Defense Force. I mean, that's even buying the Wing Diver shoot 'em up. It was like, well, that's just more Earth Defense Force, so I better get it. You know, it was like I bought that a couple years back, and I'm like, it was cheap. And
hopefully the 6 comes out this year.
Yeah, I know it's out in Japan, so it should be really good. I mean, it's EDF.
I just need to get it. The Japan version. But it's on like PlayAsia or something like that.
Yeah, but I'll wait. It'll probably come out on PS4, I hope, and so but I've always.
Half the time they don't translate all that stuff anyway. So
yeah.
Clicking on stuff, I don't even know what it means regardless.
Yeah.
So.
I'm looking forward to 6 and what they're doing with that, and I mean, but yeah, we'll definitely have to jump in and play some EDF for our fans, our subscribers, and unpaid gamers, people and our followers and whatnot. So because it's just a great series that to play through and have fun with, and you can't go wrong with it. It's easy as fuck to play. There's no thought behind it other than shoot and kill everything until the level ends. But it's just a blast. Me and we've had a lot of fun. Like we played that game like a couple weeks straight, like every night. It was great. Like we just laughed our asses off playing it and had so much fun. And because it just. And then you play on other difficulties, and they just throw every fucking thing in the kitchen sink at you, and you're just trying to fucking make heads or tails of it. It's a crazy game series. It's so hard. A lot of people do pass on it, and it's like, don't. It's fucking awesome. Go do yourself a service and go out and buy it. You're not gonna find a more fun and insane game to play than fucking Earth Defense Force. And anyone that does end up playing it ends up just falling in love with it. It's got such a huge community, bizarrely enough. It's like, so people love those games, and it's great that it's a series that has so much love. So it's another one I always support, Earth Defense Force. Like it's an amazing game. No microtransactions, no bullshit. They just have like some shit you can buy here and there.
Other than legitimate
cosmetic stuff, yeah. Some cosmetic stuff.
Well, they do have some, like some of them have the new, like different weapons you can buy, or different characters, or different level packs.
Yeah.
And usually it's like harder levels that you can buy.
Yeah, like some insane stuff. Yeah.
But it's reasonable, and it's never a ton either, and they're usually real cheap. So.
Yeah. So not too bad.
I don't view their stuff as a problem.
Yeah. No, but that's something that we're going to be doing, and again, just like I said.
Do that soon.
Yeah, we definitely need to. We'll make a game plan when we jump off here, and we'll try to figure something out. But, we, like I said, it's just like, that's what, we try to bring you guys and girls out there, the different things and showcase stuff. And, streaming together, playing something together will be interesting. A co-op day, co-op night, whatever. And just kind of FYI, like I said, we are definitely still like trying to come up with new stuff. We're always trying to think about different things that we can do as far as it goes to bring y'all content. We don't want to be your typical YouTube channel, so we're trying to. The Unpaid Gamers are here to bring you this gaming roundtable, this table talk that we're doing here, just talking about our thoughts about the game industry or different things like that, or we're John with his car thoughts, which is a really awesome concept, and I'm glad that he's doing that. Or to just the different things, and us doing a co-op thing where we're going to play a game together and laugh and cut up and just have fun and stream that for you guys, and with comments and stuff.
Games of October.
Yeah, and of course, yes, in October, the spectacular month of October, where I'm bringing you the Halloween scary oogly boogly games to get scared of. There's a little indie title I'm going to throw out here that's on sale for $3.99. It's called Silvio, and you play a woman who is she's a paranormal investigator, and it's in a semi-open world kind of place. More open world. You get drive a car and stuff, but you get out and you actually record EVPs, and you figure out, it's a really neat little game with some scares and stuff, and that's great. But yes, there is some, like I said, that's a game that's on sale now that's definitely, I picked up last year. I didn't play it part of the Spectacular because it was I already had so much horror games, as it was. So, but yes, there's, like I said, that's coming up in October, so be on the lookout for that for sure. I'm really stoked about it because I enjoyed it immensely last year, and it's gonna be fun this year to bring you all and showcase you all some new and horror games, some exciting stuff here and there, and play through that for you guys. And I'm hoping between now and then RE8 will go on sale, and for a decent price I can pick it up because I still haven't played that one. I'd like to play through RE8 because 7 was so good. So yeah, there's some good stuff coming up on the channel. Coming up, I definitely am going to be doing an episode and showing you all that Exploria game to show you just got to see this game. And if anything, the fucking soundtrack, I still cannot believe, they spent $100 making the game and $1 million on the soundtrack. It's fucking ridiculous. So, but that's the one that I've got, and I've got a couple other games that I'd like to show you guys. And I am going to, I've been thinking about it. I don't think I've ever streamed it but once, but I might be doing some No Man's Sky for you guys because they've done so much to the game, and it's just such a unique space game to play, and I want to kind of show you all the stuff that they've done. It's pretty amazing, just the general things they've done to the game over the time, and I might be doing a few episodes of the roundtable playing some No Man's Sky for you, and I might be doing. I also got something that I've been thinking about doing. I've been playing back through Dragon's Dogma, which is a fantastic game, and I think a criminally underplayed RPG. But I was playing through it and I realized that it doesn't hold your hand too much. But I might be doing a beginner's guide kind of thing to that game, but other games as well. Hey, if you're going to make this game, this is probably what you should do to get the most out of the game in the beginning parts of the game, and then after that, do whatever. But I might be doing some steps that you should take, and I realized in Dragon's Dogma, they just kind of cut you loose on the world, and you kind of got to figure things out. But there are several things you can do at the very, very beginning that a lot of people do not do at all, or don't think about or look into because of the nature of that game. And I can get you started in the right direction to where when you get to the main city, which is when the game really starts to open up, and it doesn't take long to get there. It's just if you do certain things along the way, you're going to have a much easier time when you play through the game. And I just thought about it when I recently started a new character, thinking, man, there's a lot of things that you can do. I bet you a lot of people don't know about this. I know there's
a lot of games like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of games like that. Yeah, and this is not something I've seen game sites are top 10 tips for particular game when you start it. This is going to be more of a step by step. This is what you should be doing, because this is how you're going to have success in the game later on, versus just absolute dog out failure. So I feel like that's important. And I think there's a lot of games, like you said, that don't do that. And I might be bringing you all some games, not just playing them from the beginning, but also, which is another thing that I do, but also kind of like a beginner's guide. This is what you probably should do to get the most out of what you'll be facing later in the game. And so, because I think again, we're just trying to come up with some newer content and some stuff out there for our subscribers or followers, so that they get a better idea. The Unpaid Gamers are not trying to be the same old typical channel. If you subscribe to us, we don't get paid for anything. There's no ad revenue we generate. But if you subscribe to us or follow us on our respective systems, I'm up to 65 or 66 followers, something like that. On my PSN alone, they watch the videos. They're subscribed to Unpaid Stuff Gamers. So it's like John and I, myself, us two, are trying to bring you some different kind of content. We want to be a different channel. We're not saying necessarily, we're the alternative channel to everybody else, but we are trying to do and come up with some better new ideas and stuff, just to kind of give you something else to watch, on the gaming end of things.
And, to be honest, there's so much content out there, and it's oftentimes just an excuse to do something, really.
Yeah.
Because half this stuff is stuff we'd be doing anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You might as well just stream it, or
might as well stream it. Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know. It's not. There's a lot of effort put into a lot of channels, and we don't really do that. It's just we have our full-time jobs, and we have our life and our homes and whatever else we're taking care of. So it's I don't know. Kind of a part-time channel in a sense.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah. Because I said, I'm happy
it's
that
not something we monetize or that we make it a main thing. So we just keep it real and try different things.
Yeah.
And, have a variety of content to check out. So.
Oh, precisely, and that's why we do what we do. And with July being over with, a lot of my time is now freed up from all the other stuff we do with the family and things. July is a rough month for us. So yeah, I'm going to be bringing you some content, and definitely on the gaming roundtable end of things. And I'm going to do that. And of course, like I said, I'm already gearing up and buying some titles here and there, ready for the spectacular month of October, which is probably the big event for my channel. And I said last year that I would do this again, and now we are getting close to that next year, and I'm going to do it again. So I'm excited for that, and I'm glad that John, that you're involved with that, and you jumped on last year and watched and helped out. Desiree, my beautiful fiance, she came up with it, and we'll have the backdrop, we'll do everything like we did before, and we're going to play you some horror games. And she'll be in here helping me like last time, and it's just to me it's a way to celebrate the month of October. And then of course on the 31st, when it is Halloween night, of course that's when I'll try to find some of the more like games to play, real scary stuff to watch, or to play through. So like I said, it's exciting. It's exciting for October for me.
That'd be a good time to do we haven't really planned out our Halloween yet. It'd be cool to do a special event for one of those marathon sessions.
Yeah, that would be really great. I probably, like I said, if only they would make a Halloween open world game where you're getting chased by Michael or whatever, and you can run around Haddonfield. That would be fantastic. But we'll never get that, unfortunately. But yes, I'm really looking forward to that. It's a real shame that I can't stream from my Switch, because the Switch has got a lot of its own horror. You're not going to be able to play it on anything else, and there's some really amazing horror games on that.
I tell you though, I mean, you can. Of course, it just takes some do. It doesn't have a built-in stream thing like PlayStation.
Yeah.
Now I do have a capture card though,
Yeah.
and so I'm doing the car thoughts. I'm doing the leisure plays, and I think I'm going to start doing the leisure plays more like. Because I've been just doing a couple hours of a game and then just a couple hours of another game. I don't really showcase a whole game ever.
Yeah.
But I might start doing just full playthroughs of stuff. So right now I'm working on that Swan Song. But I was thinking when I get done with that, I may move on to the Deadly Premonition.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I was thinking about working out the streaming of that and start streaming Switch games. Speaking of.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
So I may be doing some of that, but yeah, it's a little more of a to do than PlayStation.
Yeah, no, that's cool though. It's really neat. It is kind of a shame that that's something that that they don't have on the Switch. And it might be something they do later on, but like I said, there's a lot of there's a lot of titles on my Switch that are not available on anything else, and so I like to. It'd be great to be able to stream that and show some gameplays of that. But for right now, it's more or less the PlayStation, and it's kind of where I'm at with it. But the gaming roundtable and Unpaid Gamers in general, like as a whole, as just trying to bring you some unique content, and that's just some of the stuff that's coming up. Like, you definitely check out Post-Human Guy's car thoughts and his Let's Plays that's coming up. Of course, Spooktacular Halloween's coming up, and some other stuff that I have planned in the works. And yeah, our co-op EDF, we're going to do some EDF, Earth Defense Force for you, and do some co-op nights on that. That should be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm hoping that soon I'll be able to replace my external hard drive. I'll get online. I'm going to try to find one that basically a 4 tera like I had before, so I can put some more title. I'm going to need that for October, and so I'm going to try to get one of those soon and so I can get more of my library downloaded for that month. I'll put everything in a folder for the month, so because that's 31 games that I need, so it's which I own, but it's just something I have to do. So yeah, it's amazing. So again, we've got a lot of stuff coming up for y'all on the channel, and definitely stay tuned. Any final thoughts, John, for the night?
No, yeah, you pretty much covered it. We got a bunch of stuff that we're both trying to do, and the car thoughts would be pretty consistent. The leisure plays a little more sporadic, but I believe I'm going to start doing full playthroughs of stuff in parts.
Great, awesome.
And much like I play them, that'll kind of keep me on task too, as far as actually completing them before I move on. So yeah, I mean, pretty much just that stuff. And that's the stuff we've kind of talked about already. So who knows what else we'll be trying to do along the way. But
yeah,
I think that about covers it.
Awesome. No, man, like I said, and again, much appreciated, man, coming on here to the Gaming Roundtable, pulling up a seat, sitting down, giving your thoughts. I mean, it was great that we talked a little bit about movies too, and then we kind of bled into Halloween and October and just the different things. And of course, some of your car thoughts stuff, especially about like the pre-order culture and what that's going on, and of course like the weird PS Plus tiers. And again, everyone, please, comment to talk to us about that. You can email me at gamingroundtableupg@gmail.com, gamingroundtableupg@gmail.com. If you want to email me any thoughts, questions, suggestions, whatever you'd like to, please hit the subscribe button on the Unpaid Gamers YouTube channel. Please check out Post-Human Guy and People's Machine here on the Gaming Roundtable. Subscribe, hit the button, get the bell ringing for the notifications. And again, please hit us up on the various systems here. If you'd like to follow us, give us a shout, whatever you'd like to do. I know that these table talks get a little windy. We've been going on for a couple hours now, but it's good to come together in the meeting of the minds and talk about these things and tell you what's going on with the channel in the future, and just kind of give
the variety, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
These run longer. So if you're into that, you're into that. If you want like 15 minutes, do the car thoughts. If you want like a half an hour, do the your regular roundtable thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, I feel like with all this stuff, there's a little something for everybody, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, definitely, again, going back to a couple weeks ago, I still love the game, and definitely for $20, you guys got to pick up Dungeons of Sandaria. It's you're not going to find it's just such a great game. And again, I'm being kind of an advocate for it because it definitely deserves it. It's a great title, a lot of love and. Yeah, I know. Best scenes since The Matrix, because there's been a lot of well, even the new Matrix movie, Matrix, has best scenes since the old Matrixes. I don't know, but we have fun with that, and like I said, we do appreciate you subscribing and everything like that. Please comment below and check us out on Unpaid Gamers on YouTube.com. That's Unpaid Gamers, YouTube.com. Check us out. Subscribe to channels. And we will see you on the next episode of the Gaming Roundtable. And as always, gamers, good gaming.